Hello. Hello.
Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
I'm also very fortunate where, uh, because I didn't have to work today, there's also, I was able to, sleep in just a tiny bit longer, which was absolutely fucking lovely. Hmm. Jump scare. Ah, hang on a second. Jump scare! There we go. Hopefully that works out. Granted, there's an advertisement running right now, so only the subscribers get to have the fun little notice of like me being like, "Yay, it's great that I don't have to do like I didn't have to pay for the repair of a light bulb in my bathroom." So turns out the bathroom light isn't like a normal like halogen or LED light bulb that like you screw it in or click it in like an Edison. It was this weird fucking LED housing thing where there was like a circle of like all these LEDs and this little plate thing, and the plate was just like stuck in there. So that was fucking weird. So yeah, I had to definitely call the well, not call. I sent an email to the real estate agent. They're like, "Ah, yes, understandable. We'll send an electrician. They'll contact you for a for what's I'll get you the images. Hang on a sec. Let me get you an image of what this lighting fixture looked like, because like you'll look at it and you'll just sort of be like, "Who the fuck thought that was a good idea for like an LCD?" Also, am I burning my rice? Hang on a second. I have a rice cooker going right now. I'm gonna double check it and make sure that I'm not lighting my kitchen on fire, okay? I'll also... and I found the image conveniently enough, so give me a minute to, like, also get that out onto the what's-a-mahoozy. So, uh... can I, like, save as, and then I'll save it as a PNG. PNG, image, there we go. Alright, I'm gonna double check the rice cooker. Hard to screw up rice in a rice cooker. Yeah, but, like, maybe there's accidentally, like, a rice kernel, like, in the heating element, or there's water. You can fuck it up when you don't, take time. thankfully the rice cooker is not on fire. Those chances are slim, yes, but, you know, Murphy's Law and all that, like, you don't exactly want to tempt fate and be like, oh, this rice cooker will never explode, and then, you know, an hour or two into the stream, you hear an explosion, and I'm just like, what the shit? But yeah, so, get ready to see the lighting fixture that I had in my bathroom that I looked at, and I was just like, I don't know how to fix this. Again, why does this system decide to, like... There we are. Look at this thing. Look at this fucking thing. Like right now the plastic lid is still attached there, but as you can see, there's like 3 screws, and then there's like all these LEDs here. So there's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. There's like 32 like little LED thingy-majiggies or something like that. Hi there, Dazarus. Welcome to the stream. Hi, welcome. How's it going? I'm honestly surprised you are not playing like Wild Assault right now or something like that. Why are you not playing the furry shooter game? Hang on, let me just double check and make sure. I'm gonna double check and make sure that the furry shooter game is working for me as well. Because I tried playing it like Tuesday night or something like that when the early access email came to me, and I was like, oh my god, this must mean I get to like do the thingamadiggies. But no, it didn't. I had to wait till like, apparently it was open up yesterday or something like that, but yeah, going good. I don't know if any of my moderators are online, so let me give you a clip shout out. Hi there, Kusaki. Oh, Kusaki, how'd you do with the priest? How'd you do with the priest? Did you like succeed and what have you? Did you actually defeat the boss? And was it to the old town road and gonna ride till I care no more? I don't know which song you were up to when you like finally defeated the priest. Also, is the game gonna like? Yeah, it is. Awesome, cool. Oh my god, it's so fucking loud. Let me adjust that. There we go. Also,
No
gotta...
fucking way. No fucking way.
What the...
Come on.
What the shit is that?
Yes, now on.
What go-kart game is that? That's the party animals. What? There's a go-karting game in Party Animals now? Also, this website isn't really as strong as it used to be. Wolk, Dazarus, Risky. Cookie for Bookie. Here's your cookie, Bookie. Cookie. You're gonna do some leveling off stream for a bit. Fair enough. The werewolf bit keep besting you. Yeah. Oh. But yeah. Top tip, Kusaki. In the early like parts, like, cause there isn't really much you can do for grinding until you can unlock like what's something called quote unquote deep dungeons, and then you'll be able to get into the cum dungeon. But the best recommendation I can give, because this is unfortunately like the part of like Dark Souls, which it's not easy to explain, and the only way you can get through it is you just have to like sort of go through the paces of the game. So with the whole like, you know, you running to the boss to try and get it on and such like that, it's like no. What you need to do is like you just need to start taking the long way to it.
Hello.
You need to start getting comfortable, like, you know, doing pokes, doing like, you know, quick like revenge hits and what have you. And like the only way that can work out, like short of having like a trainer with you, is you just unfortunately have to play the game, and you have to like, you know, put yourself into a position of like, you know, you get it done on the little guys, and you'll start picking up on like, oh, there's a fashion to this
paid
whole
me to say,
dance.
excuse me, sir, you just said come dungeon. You do not get to say come dungeon and not explain what that means to me, the uninitiated.
Fun fact, Uraneazak, there's a cum dungeon in Bloodborne. Now, because Kusaki is not yet at that stage, and I very much, and even, granted, this is a game that's been released for, like, several fucking years, I don't want to be responsible for, like, spoiling it for him, and it's just funnier, just, you know, telling to someone who's only just entered into what could only be described as, like, you know, gritty London with werewolves and shit, to be like, there's a cum dungeon. Because you know what he's thinking right now? You know what the Poom is thinking right now, as we just say it's a cum dungeon? Well, he's in the chat, so he'll probably tell me himself, but I think it's gonna be cum. Also, you went fishing. Who went fishing? Black Red Eye. Nice. Alrighty then. Good news. The game works. Hey, and it has my GrantZeebs name. Hi there, Fizz Tiger. A semen swamp. Damn you, Miyazaki, and your swamps! Fishy has hinted about what it is. Fair enough. So yeah, the only reason the cum dungeon exists is because of, like, in Bloodborne, uniquely enough in Bloodborne, it follows sort of in the same vein as Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, sorry, where it doesn't have the normal invasion and co-op systems. Bloodborne is like a different kind of multiplayer entirely, and like once you get to, I think, the third boss you need to get through, you'll unlock a little thingy-majiggy that will get you to their unique multiplayer feature. But I won't go any further. So, but yeah, good to have you for a quick little minute. All right. Select game mode. Can I go into training really quick, just so I know how the fuck I can move? How the fuck to move and such. Also, did I stop the music in the background? No, I did not. Pause that music. There we go. And then, hi there, Xerix. Welcome to the stream. Oh, what the fuck was that noise? In the equipment menu in the top left corner, you can something or rather. Okay. Let's go to movement. So we're playing as a tiger.
Fight for justice. Fight for us.
Okay. Why is everything on fire? This is a really weird game to get in. They gave me a tutorial when I first booted it up, but I Alt F4'd it thinking, oh, like the next time I go into this game and what have you, they will give me the tutorial and what have you, but apparently they haven't, so.
The first blood is ours.
Reloading.
So, reloading is that. Okay, so show the little button when you need to. Huh? Yep, cool. Switching your weapon can be done with... Oh, hello, little Incineroar, sniffing my ass. Alright, cool. So, that one's going to be doing their thing. So, yeah, alright, so ones and twos does the swap of primary and secondary. There's like a percentage thing, and then Q does something.
Locked and loaded.
E does a... Oh, E does a little boost thing.
Reloading.
Is there a melee? I press F and it doesn't... Nope. Okay, you're gonna let me do this? Alright, let's do this. Dun, 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 dun. Jumping is space. C is crouch. Left control is to crouch for longer. Ding, 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 ding. 8! Oh god, the updated Twitch mobile landing page is horrible. Is it now? I updated my OBS to 30.2.2,
Strange.
and I'll share it to, like, they did, like, this interesting thingy-majiggy.
Bookster paid me to say I'll be cleaning the kitchen. I shall return.
Okay, I see, like, you gave me V, but let me just put it as, like, my side button. Save and leave. Oh my god. That is a... Alright, so wait, how much damage does a headshot do? So, 1, 2, 3, whereas...
Cover me. I'm reloading.
Okay, so you're still needing to do, like... Yeah, it's better to do 2 melees than to, like, you know, get... Although... Yep, you can do it on the interrupt, but there isn't exactly a point that you can... Unless...
Cover me. I'm reloading.
Yeah, no. So they have it where it's empty until reload is done. There isn't like a cheeky, like, oh, if you like drop the minute you like slot the clip in and shit.
Reloading.
Oh, I should probably swap to a better weapon. And then
Cover me. I'm ready for a fight. Reloading.
Cool. Yep, cool. Do the thingamadiggy, and then there's skills.
I'm gonna tear you apart.
Oh, okay. So, wait, how big is the distance? Hang on, let's see. Does it just need to be like the target is shown? Okay, no, there's a set distance. Cool. Oh my god, this lasts. But obviously you don't have your gun available. The best distance closer is a gun. Alright. So, quit out of that. I got the basics. So, dig. Get back to the story. WA Conquest. Occupy points, reducing the enemy's strengths. More points than the enemies leads to faster deployments. Each Valiant has thingamadiggies, random supplies. Yep, cool. Alright, so we quick play this. Oh, you give me a tutorial. Never mind. Or you give me an intro.
Welcome to Wild Assault Conquest mode. In this mode, work together with your team to capture control points. Controlling these strategic locations causes your enemy to lose game points. Your team achieves victory when the enemy's game points reach 0. There are several control points on the battleground. Launch attacks with your team and take control of these strategic locations. Clear the perimeter and take control of the strategic locations. The enemy team will then start to lose game points.
I may have lost my past.
Securing target.
Successful enemy takedowns can cause enemy to lose points, but the key to victory is still acquiring control points.
Yeah.
You can always switch to another Valiant when deploying to the battleground.
That still requires me having like multiple Valiants or some shit, so.
Each Valiant has unique abilities and traits. Assemble your team wisely and collaborate with your teammates to take down the opponents. Additionally, the neutral item plays an important role and can even help you turn the tide. The neutral item will randomly drop at certain locations on the map during mid-game.
Thank you for the head pets, Eric's.
Upon interaction, the neutral item will start compiling.
God damn it, they
interact with the disease control. When fully
they have the subtitles in English, but they don't have like this.
Buff rewards. Okay, Sitrep complete, Valiant. Hope you.
Norman's name was from a bartender's joke. His memories began to awaken from deep sleep in a hospital room, where the dark muzzle woke Norman from the coma, leading him to fight his way out. You got your new computer and you're currently transferring everything over still. That will take time, especially if you're not like familiar with it and what have you. All right. Let's start
Be
here.
advised. Mission is a go.
All right.
Acquire
Hi there, Cap. Wild access. Man, don't you feel special? All right. So, all right. How easy are we going to be able to identify enemies? I wonder. Also, what is? Okay. Doesn't give me a lot of Oh, what was that? Also, why are you like half the thing? The main annoying thing is getting all the apps and such to transfer over, and you'll need to find new file paths. This is why there's you know, cloud stuff such as like OneDrive setup for like easily like the easy backup of like user profiles and such. Applications doing like cloud backups, I'm not 100% if I like those, because it's like normally they want you to always be online or some shit. So I have no clue what's happening. I didn't know that. Oh.
Cover me. I'm reloading.
Also, I have no clue what the time is.
Reloading.
Nice.
Position. Locked and loaded.
I swear I know how to play.
Reloading.
Okay, that took a minute.
Friendly.
Neutral item is ready for drop.
Ready for a fight.
Yeah, that was an obvious bad
Neutral item
move.
has landed.
So, you have to go back to work, you'll miss the boobs. Not to worry, Renee, Zach, it happens. Top left, you can... What? Okay, what is... So Z is the leaping thing. Shock Roar intimidates within a... effect, decreasing the distance between enemies and who are directly facing them will strong intimidation effect. No idea what that means. Alright, let's deploy onto someone.
Cover me. I'm reloading.
So,
Reloading. Cover me. Locked and loaded.
yeah, like, the render distance... Good morning! Good morning, Wild Saber. How's it going? How's it going? Hello, hello, hello.
Try to come back to life.
Some elements, I...
Ready for a fight.
Maybe I just need to change, like, some of my...
Reloading.
Switching to your sidearm is faster than reloading. Okay.
Reloading.
That was alright. That was understandable. How's it going, Wild Saber? You doing alright? Alrighty. Let's go to TK.
I'm hurt.
He had like barely anything on him.
He ain't gonna make it. Medic. I need a medic.
Oh, there is no nearby medics. Okay, never mind. Well, we're winning on the like, you know, the whole counting front, so. Ding. So.
I'm hurt. Cover me. I'm reloading.
Yeah, that was dumb. The anticipated furry game of the year. Did they nerf the wolf yet? I do not know.
Pay attention to my marks.
Hang on. Limit to 60. Image quality. No. Blur. Render resolution. Hair refinement recommended off. DLSS. Balanced. Ultra. Field of view. Okay, so. Save and leave. Alright. I do not know what the rule is. Oh, god damn it! I didn't realize the bull was like one of Are you liking or hating the new server transfer system? I have not heard of the new server transfer system. I am not been playing What's-a-Mahoozy, Final Fantasy XIV in recent age, so could not tell you one way or the other.
Reloading. Reloading. Cover me.
Halfway point. Keep up the good fight.
Face me. Don't engage.
Well, that was work. I'll DM it to you then, and you can look at it later. I'll look at it when it concerns me, because like I do have friends over in Materia and what have you, so like doing like data center or like, you know, world transfers is something that I'm going to be doing and what have you. So I'll get to it when I get to it, because I will be playing it tomorrow as well. Don't forget. So yeah, let's go with you. Let's see if I get thrown.
Reloading. Ready for a fight.
All right, barely was able to.
Cover me.
I do not know how I survived in the middle of that. Yeah, no, skip that revive. Let's just, you know, get to the thingy. Your stream was quite laggy for a bit. Ah, oh, it actually is still like a little bit, so hang on a second, Alright, let's see how we go. Plus, this is my, like, first match. I just, like, ran into this fucking thing. If there was a grenade in this game. So. Probably not using all those. Oh my god, I'm coming forward. How? Oh, I guess like maybe they just make it so that it's like you just run into the map and stuff. So even if it's so, there could be like just a very lopsided sort of.
Careful. Friendly down. Cover me. I'm reloading.
Reloading. Cover me.
Die. They had a much better shot on me. Plus, I want to know if there's a horse. I need to find out if there's like a horse, what's in here. If there isn't, then what the fuck am I even doing? Also, has Unnamed started streaming yet? Are they streaming right now? Are they finally playing the game? Hopefully they're playing the game. Also, like, we're pretty close to dominating them, it seems. Yeah, that was a lot of people killed then. Oh, am I getting revived? No, never mind.
Be careful. It's an ambush.
Be careful, it's an ambush. I'm pretty sure we're like just suppressing every fucking person here. Also, I don't know how I feel about, like, you know, when I do the whole aim down sights, it's just like, oh, let's just do a tighter frame. It's like, no, I would very much love to be able to, like, you know, do, like, go into first person or something like that.
Reload. I've got him. Apart.
Ah, I couldn't leap forward quickly enough. Shame.
We are winning. Push forward and finish them up.
We are the only reason that, like, they're doing, like, a very quick, like, kills on us is because we're rushing after controlling, like... They could be spawning to over there.
Don't engage.
Cover me. It's almost done. Good job. Keep it up.
Alright, how quickly are we about to win? Because I think it ticks down like 2 points every second because it's like it feels like how First Descendants is handling it. Yeah. We have 5 dogs in the house today as your sister and her boyfriend and their kids and their 2 dogs were hanging at the house as the power has been out since yet. Wait, what? Thunderstorms, half the city over Selena is out of power and it's like 105 degrees. Oh shit. Yep. Hang on. Also, it doesn't help that there's like these little red indicators on the screen. It just makes it so that like...
Cover me. I'm reloading. Reloading. Cover me.
Alright, reload this real quick.
Don't engage.
Yeah, we're about to win. 2. There we go. Feels like this is how... Yeah, and I'm also still getting dropped frames as well, I'm noticing. So there's definitely like a network thing going on here. Holy shit, did I get on best team? The fuck? Also, what is... Had something similar happen on a smaller scale. Hopefully you guys get the power back as soon as possible. Hopefully so, yeah. A good... Best of luck, Wild Saber. Alright. Oh my... Seriously? I thought I fucking dominated on that one. I thought I did really well on that one. Like... Also, mark_count and occupy... Okay, that's a... Yeah, it's a closed beta. I'll let that slide. But yeah, holy shit, I came 4th? 18 kills, and oh my god, this person was doing great. 19 kills, only 1 death, 2 assists. I was doing a lot of assists, weirdly enough. Alright, hang on, what's custom? Assembler, acquire level 30. Metals, acquire level 10. Codename, to be filled. GrantZeebs. Male. Personality. That's awesome. That's just amazing. Look at that. Personality. Move aside. Move aside, like, personality. We're interested in your personality. How have furries not... How have I not heard this by furries? Personality. Also, 1.6. Not bad. Alright, let's go. Is there... More Valiants for you to choose from. Agile, Slim, and Surplus Slay. Sorry, is that Surplus Slay? Also, what is with the little bar on the... Alright, so you get points here. Blood Tracker. Do they have, like, passives or something? Is that why? Is a scout... So, Blood Track. A keen sense of smell allows it to track down wounded prey. Enemies will be briefly marked after taking damage. After a successful hunt, it can quickly restore its combat will. Immediately grants a small amount of stamina. Skilled at launching sudden attacks on prey. Maximum stamina increase. Alright, so its Z is like... so the Z was because of the artillery. Q's is its tactical, where it does armor piercing. And... oh my god, they have the wall hacks as just an E, rather than it being like an ultimate. I thought the Blood Hunt would be an ultimate thing, not the, not just the E. Then we've got Vladimir, who's a bear, Raccoon, and then we've got Hongying? Strong, sensitive body, first aid capsule, combat roll. Oh! Unnamed invited me. That could only mean one thing. Also, it wants me to allow public and private network. Sure. Alright, hang on. Where is unnamed? Ding. Dong. Super secret. Let's see if they're in there with, like, maybe the diggies. Alright, am I in their team? Oh, I'm in their team. Also, next question is... what is the... Hi there, Ripper! Welcome to the stream.
Hi, Grant!
Hi!
Hi, Grant's chat! Follow me! Unfollow Grant!
No, don't follow unnamed. You want to follow me, GrantZeebs. Alright? Why would you want to follow... oh my god, it's Zed. Hi, Zed.
Oh my god. Zed's in the party, too.
Where?
Wah.
Where?
Wah.
Where? Wah?
I'm saying hello to people I'm playing game with here.
Hi!
You're fine, you don't need to apologize.
Alright.
Okay, just quick play?
Yes.
Are we ready?
Quick play it.
Quick play.
I see Grant streaming, like, at a reasonable American time, and I'm like, we play.
We play, because I'm not working today. I can...
Yo! Also, Grant, I love your Fuggy, the little screen.
Yeah, that was made
adorable.
by a artist named Jack DeCrow on Twitch, itch and such. I bribed them for it.
You bribed her for it?
Yeah.
With your leg?
No, with money.
Oh,
I mean, your leg would have probably been better.
Oh,
money. Oh man, what am I doing?
Ow!
Shit.
Oh,
Alright.
Reagan Smash.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Securing
Hang on a
target
second.
Charlie.
I almost got sniped into the spawn.
Reagan Smash,
Suckers
thank you.
didn't get it
I
now.
see.
Reagan Smash, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to Jack the Crow, Little Incineroar, Walzer, Jerry, and Bowen. Thank you so much.
Oh no, I'm not gonna hydrate right now.
Why are you not just always...
Reloading.
Bullets?
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Get fucked. Ow.
Now I can hydrate. Now I can hydrate.
Oh, hello, Wolf.
Enemies taking Alpha.
Alright, let me get back with the team.
Ah.
Where's the team? Oh, we're all dead.
I am the team.
Where's the team? The whole team dead.
Yeah.
The enemy has the lead. Stop them.
Alright, I'm starting from spawn. I'm gonna be working my way back over to B. Am I just gonna be on the other side of the stomp? Is that it?
Yes.
Neutral item has landed.
Excuse me.
How's Ian? I'm
Taking
doing
the
good,
neutral
Diesel
item.
man. Thank you.
Neutral
Hey mods, can I get a shout out to Grant?
Secure the perimeter.
Ow.
If you guys are awake and not drunk and or high.
And or.
I don't know, that's asking a lot.
It is.
It is asking a lot.
How do I help? Let's hear. Do thing. No. No. Can't help? Okay, fine.
Let's have some fun.
Oh.
Get the dang gift cube. How do I get the dang gift cube?
No
I'm
idea.
the only one on neither of those. Red Loop, I trusted you, see?
How do I interact?
You don't know how to shout out, Red? Okay, / shout out. And then at GrantZeebs.
Do tricks on it.
There we go. Ding. Good night. Ah!
The enemy
Cookie for Wild Saber.
Cookie!
No cookie for you.
Interact.
No leg?
Okay,
Leg
got
for
it.
me. Fork.
The enemy is taking the neutral item.
Grant's chat, you need to peer pressure him into giving me the leg.
The enemy has controlled the neutral item. Take.
Nah, ain't gonna happen. My chatters are loyal lurkers. They don't.
No, they're not. They bork every time I bork in there.
They don't do that every time.
They're secret borkers, 100%. Chat, if you type bork, you hear my voice. Bork.
See, none of them are paying attention right now. Also, how am I getting stuck up on a rock? Just walk over the rock.
Hi, I'm Rock. Rock says fuck you.
I speak for the rocks, and the rocks say.
Dude,
"Fuck you."
the wolf is badass. I'm just fucking killing guys.
Get to- This is not working.
Literally, I get my skills reset on kill, so
The neutral item.
Oh, there's Ed. Hang on. Oh, god damn it.
Oh, there's multiple.
Bravo.
There's no horse. Also, as Ripper said, betraying Grant is too much effort. Thank you, Ripper.
What do you mean too much effort? It's easy.
Watch.
You just send Grant die highs, you get the video, and then you betray him by sending it to everyone else.
I've already shared.
unfortunately, I'm the one that's on the gain side, so I don't speak for others.
Oh, it's okay. I'll show you the thigh high video later.
Oh,
How do I-
special treatment? Ayo.
Lead us to victory.
I'm okay with this.
Why no horse? We need heavy gun guy. We do. We need a Hans. We need a barcode in this.
We need a horse.
Our heavy gun guy is bear, unfortunately. So
Oh my god, he's just hiding in the corner. Cool.
Oh, Jesus. Okay,
Better question. Why no Yin?
cause you already have enough predators in this fucking game. You've got.
You predators. I'm gonna bite your hand.
Oh, Wild Saber's gonna desert me for Lightning Stream, apparently. Alright, be sure to say hi to Lightning in
Enemy
their
is taking
stream.
Charlie.
What? I'm not even streaming right now.
Oh. Ah! Where the fuck are we
That's
going?
okay. Saber's Saber. He does Saber things. You can just bonk him. If he does anything he's not supposed to, just bonk him.
Securing target Alpha. We have
I
the
feel
lead.
very
Oh,
unskilled
shit.
in this lobby.
Oh, wait, she's a
bullets out.
Cover me.
Ooh,
Oh,
quite a lot of dropped frames.
looking like never heard of this game before. Looking like furry Battlefield. Well, Natalie,
It is.
yes,
it's the only way. I was keep forgetting the name of the game all week because I'm like furry Battlefield. That's all I've been calling it.
Medikit,
Yep.
you'll be fine now. I'll patch you out.
Yeah, that's literally what everyone said on my stuff too. Usually, it's like, oh, it's just Battlefield with furries, kind of like the exception to it. And I love it. I've been waiting for this game. Oh, bro.
I'm willing to give it the college try. I like to think that I keep a balanced diet of different kinds of different games.
Enemy attack.
I do more than just
I saw-
JRPGs.
damn it.
I saw Hot Bunny Girl and I'm like, I'm in.
Right?
Medikit.
Oh, what the? Oh, does that thingy reset when it? Oh,
Yep.
that's weird.
Who are you playing as?
I'm playing as the bunny,
Daddy Tiger.
just so then that way we have like a medic and thing, and just to, you know.
Oh, I'm playing the bunny too. I'm gonna go switch to the bear.
All right.
The bear.
All right.
I'm gonna see if I can cause some trouble and see.
rescue. Come on, there we go.
Listen up. I'll catch you up.
Whoa, hello.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, my character, if I get a kill, I get my skills on reset.
I shot a bear in the butt.
Do you like it?
Probably.
Medicine. You'll be fine.
I didn't like that though.
Ying chooses bear. Ying gains awful. It's Chicago. I'm walking. No, wait, no, it's wrong.
Can't do accent. Oh my gosh, there is an accent I need you to double check on. It's.
I was gonna do it like a Tachanka. Tachanka, ready, loaded. You know, that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah. Also, why am I running slow?
Yeah, you need to do that a little deeper there, comrade.
Ah.
Ow, ow, stop. Bullets, ow. Don't like them.
Neutral item is ready for drop.
Damn it. I kind of understand this game.
Grant, I got you. Just hold left click. Hold left click. I'm coming.
Punched.
Oh, thank you, Anna.
Bean's got you. I'm covering you.
Give me the leg. I'm not healing you.
Listen up. I'll catch you up.
Wow.
Neutral item has led.
Oh, so it's anyone that can do the revive. It's not just,
The enemy
Yeah.
has taken the lead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't let them get away with this.
Someone's hit.
Man, they're really bad at aim if they can't hit a simple fox in a straight line.
Sometimes I feel cracked, and then there's
Oh,
other
bad
times
guys.
where I'm just like, yeah, I feel out of my leg.
Yeah, that's basically how I do.
Yeah.
Oh, shiza. Heckin'.
Also, the bunny
Oh,
does.
shooting me! Stop it!
Also, the bunny does like the weird moan when they pass.
Weird moan. Hello.
You know that.
Weird
What?
bones setting us up, yes.
Weird moan. Just switching the bunny. It's all the just immediately become degenerate.
I'm bringing you a new viewer, by the way, Ian.
Ooh. A new viewer.
Cover me.
Give me the. I take your hand. I'll just bite it off.
Yeah. I should.
Help me.
Oh, you're all the way over there. Never mind.
Ah, damn it.
Oh crap!
Alright.
I guess it's Sniper Lance Day, not Gundam Down Lance.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they need to have smaller maps.
Yeah, they really need to fix the recoil amount though.
Is seriously injured.
That's the big thing. They need to fix the recoil, the interaction, and more.
How to tell if an e-girl is playing this bunny. Oh, there's other weapons I didn't even realize.
How to tell if someone's interested
Oh,
in
thank-
E-Boys,
Alright,
plays
I'm
the
gonna-
wolf.
I'm gonna try a P90 then. Let's see what that's like.
P90s
Yeah,
are pretty
same.
good.
Secure
Really, I'm just here for the moan.
Nope.
It's still in beta, right? Yes, it is.
Yep.
It's okay, Grant. I'll save you. No, I'm not.
Time is almost up. Make sure our
No, there's so
That's-
many of them.
That's the
I
thing that
literally
gets
just
me, is
spawned.
that it's like, oh, you just, what's Mahuzi? Like, you'll be in the middle of healing, but it's like, it will, a shot will interrupt you, and it's
There
like,
she is.
yeah, it ruins it.
There's the viewer for you, Ying.
Thanks for the view. Thanks for the follow.
I just fucking spawned, game. Jesus.
Hey, yo, chat. We're 6 away from 500
500 subs or 500 follows?
follows. I don't have them in subs, Grant.
Ripper, can we please get a, can we please get a shout out for Unnamed and Heckett Zed, please?
Yeah, can we get a shout out for Zed? I mean, a motorboat for Zed. I mean, a shout out for Zed.
Can we get
Wow.
boobies?
I'm just saying that lipstick.
We are acquiring Charlie.
Try to be normal to one of the many inspirations of your furry awakening. Impossible. Never happened.
What do you mean, a furry awakening? Zed had nothing to do with that. I was a
Zed
freak.
was an
What?
inspiration, okay? You cannot deny this.
I can't know. Wait, me and Zed were mutuals for years. He didn't know? How could no one know?
I didn't know. Besides, he's my inspiration. They're my inspiration. Sorry, I wasn't too sure if it's a he or her. And then, yeah.
They. Stick with the they, thems. You're good.
Yep. They. Oh, hang on. Revive.
They as in them titties.
Them.
Sorry, Zed.
You're good. You're good.
I just cook here.
I just cook here. Oh, you can have me your leg too.
Oh, you double shift to do the.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there.
We've lost Charlie.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. There's only like one person in my life that I've met as a friend, and or like met from university and such before like furryism and all that kind of nonsense. Ashen Tiger,
Friendly taking fire.
great friend. I don't chat with them too much, but that's because we just sort of move on with our lives. So how do I heal people?
Bravo was
thank you,
hold
Tyra.
Q down.
Sorry.
Hey, thank you. There
Talked
you
with
go.
Unnamed about this the other day. I still see Zed as like a semi-popufur and still like shyest to talk to them. Oh, that is adorable.
Believe me, I am not popular in any way, shape, or form. Hush with that.
Touch that, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you're not
I think
popular,
more
but
in the-
you're in the realm of like, when people like keep using Chris Hemsworth or really any of the Hemsworths or anyone from the Marvel cast is like, hey, this is my inspiration for like my workout routine and my gym thing to do. I feel like Hecate Zed is in that like little thingy-majiggy there, where it's just sort of like, hi, I would love this art, and this user here did this amazing thingy-majiggy, and I would like this, but for this persona instead.
Oh, that's appropriate.
Yeah.
No, someone starts playing He's Gay in my chat.
Friendly taking fire.
Sounds like a thing a popufur would say. Oh my god, Red Loop, stop.
I will boop you.
Alright, where the fuck is everyone?
Look, I just breed.
Yeah.
We will
Stinky.
definitely win.
Stinky?
Where?
Yeah. Skunk's deploying stuff over on B.
I don't even know where B is. Oh, yeah, there it is. Shut up.
Do not engage.
Oh, I'm getting a little bit
is now in enemy
of
hands.
Come on, B.
Stay behind me. It's this.
Oh, we're on the Russian side.
Oops.
Not a furry. It takes a lot to be like a furry character. It's okay. You're being in the I'm not a furry but camp is pretty cool. I'm not a furry but. Oh my god, look at them.
I'm sorry about you, so I said that. Yeah.
Yes.
Moon Witch is amazing. She's awesome.
It's Zed. That's how it is.
Yep.
So, how did I change my thing so nice?
Honestly, I'm having pretty decent fun with this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm not immediately getting my head exploded as soon as I spawn, and this is not bad.
Yeah. Oh, it's the Alt key. Okay.
Medicine. You'll be fine.
Oh, I'm out of ammo.
Take it down, please. Do not engage.
Oh, where did that shot come from?
Friendly taking
Chat, was that sus? Huh? It was a shot from a dead body that hit me.
That could just be like, rubber banding nonsense. where
Like
it's just oh,
this 2 seconds later.
I'm not expecting this game to have like Battlefield COD levels of like netcode quality, okay? It's
You
in
know what?
early
That's fair.
access.
That's fair. I'm still having fun.
Yeah.
No, my leg! My food!
How much yif soup would fit in a Hummer? Oy.
Oh.
Ooh. At least 3. Lightning.
Oh, I'm alive.
Ow.
enemy
Ow.
attack.
Explosives hurt.
I do, yes.
Anybody? Bueller?
Sleepy beanie bee.
Oh, when it does that moment where it's like, oh, let's just do the low, like the long depth of field like animation or rendering, and it's right next to you.
is a good dog.
Welcome to the rice fields. Oh, a friend gifted me, fucking, what was it? Not Sandstorm, the other one, the Vietnam one. That one was gifted to me. I'm gonna be
Rising
real with
Storm?
you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in my library.
We playing Rising Storm? I love that game.
I'll be real with you. I would be interested how it goes, because I'm looking at, like, my stats, because I'm a one PC kind of build. Like, my network, 10% of the network drops going through this game, and it's
yeah.
It's doing some funky.
My pronouns? I don't have preference. I don't have preference.
We just call them a breedable yin.
Almost
Yeah.
ready.
Pronouns are Bork.
Bork
Bork,
and Bork, yeah. Bork and Bjork.
Cover me. I'm
Bjork.
Bjork.
Do you have, like, the little dots above the Bjork?
Yes, they must have the unnecessary umlaut.
I wonder if there's, like, an easy way of doing the umlaut, because, like, I have to do, like, the whole Windows key dot, which gets you to, like, the emoji board, and then
I know how to do it. I know how to do it on Mac, but I don't know how to do it on PC.
Oh.
Everyone's dead. I'm going to A.
Alright, sounds good.
Don't you worry. I got my fox. I'm about to go hard.
I don't know why I went here. I'm gonna go to B. Gotta get to sleep. No, Reagan, don't go to sleep. Not without me.
I'll let you go to sleep in my server. Don't you worry. You can just like go to B's and I'll still be here.
We are losing the round. Fight back, team.
Just fighting over our viewers.
Yeah. Everyone unfollow Grant and follow me right now.
No!
Unfollow everybody and follow me.
No.
The power of the puppy fur.
I've been betrayed.
We have Bravo.
Hi there, Kuchineki.
I don't like that this is gonna become like an unescapable allegation for Zed.
Oh my god, are we about to like fight?
I mean, we could always just try to capture Zed.
No.
Pin Zed down? Ooh.
Please give me huggy wuggies.
How could this happen to me?
How could this happen to me?
Not cash money.
Honestly, one of the best like furry media out there, and I'm pretty sure it's not even done by a furry.
Which is even funnier.
hang in there, please.
Uh-oh, sounds like he wants to be pinned. Mission success.
Oh my. Alright, let's try the AS style again. The M16 was so much better though, in my opinion.
Juicy, shake it, tits, big juicy, big juicy.
Oh, what's your ping at in milliseconds?
Sorry, lands all day above.
72.
Oh, I'm 250 right now.
That's about right.
I'm getting the classic Aussie experience right now.
Oh.
So yeah, because like despite this accent, despite this level of himboism, I'm not in the United States right now.
That's okay. I have a lot of Australian friends too that are also super cute.
Out right behind me.
Alright, Lightning Alliance.
If it makes you feel better, a lot of people mistake my gender so much that at this point in time in my life, it doesn't matter anymore for me.
What are your pronouns, sorry?
Any.
Okay, fair enough.
Wow, even Bork?
Woo!
Hey, we won!
We won!
By the power of bimbo and himboism, we have done it!
While I'm here.
I'm
I
sorry,
did shitty
the
that
enemy
time.
bot? What?
The enemy bought? Best team, it's not us. Fuck.
Okay, I know I'm garbage XD.
Oh my god, one of
T-pose
the...
at the end.
Did you see the T-pose?
I saw the T-pose. Alright, I'm gonna do some manipulations of my PC. I'm probably gonna like... Because I have everything at ultimate, I'm just gonna be like, fuck it, we're gonna try and like lower everything down.
That's fine.
So...
I might lower, I might tweak it a little bit.
I want to own the heckin' skunk. I want skunk lady. Give me skunk lady. I'm a skunk.
I must skunk. I must stink.
I want to be a stinky fox.
Frame generate DLSS, okay.
Extreme field of view. Medium textures.
I set the DLSS to performance. It performs better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the same thing on mine. Let's try this controls. I'm just gonna have a real quick read through here.
Wow, Moonwitch, you don't have to just squirt me with heckin' water. I'm a cute fox, not a bad fox.
Quick. Oh, okay. Auto. Set whether to enable auto breathe holding when aiming down. Oh no.
Hey Ying,
Yeah?
I'm gonna send you something.
What?
I think you might like it. Let's see here. This.
Oh, it's cute.
Oh wow, I'm already up to like 4 apparently. Man.
Pink, I just looked into the voice chat, Pink. That's funny.
I also sent you an extra thing.
Thing is,
Extra thing.
Yes.
wait, hang on. I need to. What's
What?
the streamers I follow are Australians? I don't know Wild Saber. I also don't understand why the skunk girl wears a ton of deodorant.
I know.
Hey, you never know, man. You could always look for a good time without looking for a good time.
Oh, well, that's why.
Add unnamed as friend, Zed, and Lightning.
Don't add me as a friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna add you as a friend.
You add these nuts.
Oh my god, there's a rank? I'm under 2,000 right now.
Yeah. I'm oh wait, you're under 2,000? Like,
Yeah,
what?
so I'm like 1,976th.
Rank?
Yeah.
I'm 764 rank.
So, damn.
I have a score of 9,000, so like.
I've only got like 2.4 thousand, so.
Where do you see your rank? What am I looking for?
So,
The main
Literally
screen
button on
is
the
at
bottom of the
very
screen
bottom.
says rank.
Oh, it's at the bottom.
yeah, at the bottom left there.
I'm 931. Ah, fine. I'm gonna hide.
How does someone actually get 50,000 score on a daily?
Best score on the which is the crazier thing as well.
You would have to literally get every kill by yourself.
I'm trying to think like how, like maybe it is a case of like they just run around, get the kill,
check.
take the point, get the kill again or something.
The
like
only
that.
way you would probably be able to do that if you actually played sniper and got a headshot every time.
Possibly.
Oops, did I break this?
What did Kitsune say? Most canids have the same glands that skunk do. It's just skunks, and some badgers have weaponized it. Wait, some badgers? There are badgers that have weaponized like the stink gland thingy?
Yep.
I know very little about animals, despite being in a fandom that like should have a bit more understanding than the average. I'm just like, haha, that looks cool. Also, I don't... This is the part that weirds me out, is up here. Let me zoom in here. And you'll probably, like, see what I'm talking about. So I'll do that. So right there. Look at this. There. So if I go to options and then I go back...
I'm sorry I have to do this to you guys. When you said badger, the only thing that went through my mind is this song. Badger, 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 badger.
Mushroom, mushroom, badger, 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 badger. Praise Wiglore. Oh, hail Wiglore.
Wait, are we going into another game?
Yeah. I'm just waiting,
Alright.
Just waiting, god dang.
I'm ready.
Only Captain can start game. There it goes.
Starting the game!
Wait,
Is this game one-arm friendly?
I am unsure if it's on a one-arm friendly, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
What's a friendly what?
If the game is one-arm friendly.
No,
Where we
probably
spawn over
not.
there. Honestly, I'm down with this bear. This bear's pretty dope.
Alright,
You're pretty dope.
Keep the P.
What?
Grab a revolver.
Be advised. Mission is a go.
I got my fox butt, I got some booty shorts ready, and I'm ready to slay.
Where's the bikini outfit for this bear? Damn it, I'm confused.
I set
I
the
don't know,
quality
but I can get
so
you a
low.
bikini.
I set the quality so low, and it looks like I'm in one of
You
those
want a one piece or a
watercolor-
2-piece?
Looks like a
Barely a
watercolor.
2-piece.
Target Alpha.
Barely a 2-piece? I know exactly what to get you then.
Yeah.
You already know what I'm getting you then.
I marked the location.
It's only gonna cover the bits.
Oh, you can
yeah.
aim with middle mouse. I didn't realize that.
Nice. Oh my goodness. Going
Please
to
spam
like
emotes? Yes, you can. And if you're a subscriber, it's actually multiplies the emotes.
nice.
Multiply these nuts.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right?
We have friends.
He did.
Oh, damn, I got first blood? Hell yeah.
Okay, I might need to increase the quality again.
He's somewhere.
Someone's hit.
He's to the right. Yeah, you see him.
Zed, pick me up, please.
Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hang on.
Zed, please.
Oh, I pressed the wrong
Oh,
button.
that was dangerously
Lost the
close.
lead. Pick it up, team.
I marked the location.
I got you.
Check my marks.
Hi, dear.
Wow, bullets, my only weakness.
Mwah.
Look at.
What?
Huh? It's a yin.
It's a.
I'm a yin.
Yes.
I'm borking. I bork. Hi.
Yin's hair.
Yes. A very good hair.
Hi, my hair pretty.
Let me move. Check my marks.
Oh, if you hold
Someday
down
I'll kill
the
this
middle.
guy.
Yeah. All right. Menu. Video.
No. Oh, I missed that. I missed Grant.
All right, I'm gonna put it at extreme then. Save and leave. Let's see how badly this goes.
Tick.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Behind me.
Get it? Kidding?
Kitten.
We've
Yeah, I'm
taken the
terrible at
lead.
jokes.
Good job, team.
Wow. Hey, Grant agrees. Mm-hmm.
Mood Witch is having fun at least. Alright, I'm gonna go capture C.
Same.
Same.
I'm catching up to y'all.
Definitely though, music really hits
We
different
lost Alpha.
on your gameplay.
Right.
Yep, I see him.
We have Charlie.
Pay attention to my marks.
Hold
Well,
on.
okay, I was hoping it was actually going to ping him.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't bounce on walls. It does a.
Medicine. You'll be fine. Cover me.
Is that good? Hi there, Joey J. Rue. It's going
Yeah, go
alright.
pass out, Red Loop.
I am.
Have a good nap, Red Loop.
I'm playing Furry Battlefield with a couple of Americans.
Oh.
So.
All right.
Excuse you, Grant. I'm Texan.
Oh.
Yeah, get it right.
You get it right.
Is it two
our state
Texans?
capital's in Bucky's.
Do I have to keep an eye on 2 Texans in the chat, or is it just the one?
Yeah, that's okay. I left my revolver at the door.
Someone.
So yeah, if you're wondering like why the movement is jank, just remember that I'm like a quarter of a second behind everyone else. It's a shooting game. It's okay. It's fine.
I'm having fun. Ah, they put me down. Get me up. I got my ult.
Trying to get over a wall.
Some of us are rednecks too. Get it right.
Don't hold it. We're here.
I wasn't holding it. I was all tabbed.
Don't let them get away with this.
Okay.
Where are we gonna go? Get B or A?
I'm leaning towards B myself.
First beat. Got it. Oh yeah.
Oh, damn it! That's a sniper.
Hold it, Grant. I'm gonna get you. Oh shit. Never mind. Hold on. Give me a second.
Wild Saber says that you left your revolver and stack of baby back ribs at the door.
Baby back ribs? No, we got brisket. So I left my brisket at the door. Oh, they got me again.
I'm the charger that you never expected.
I have a brother-in-law that got a smoker from work last year. So they've been doing all kinds of meats. They've not yet done a brisket because they say it's like takes too long.
Yeah, but when it's done, you just put brisket when you wake up in the morning, even if you're not hungry, because who knows what the afternoon might bring.
We have Bravo.
Damn, dude. I need medical assistance.
Oh, there
I'm
you
running.
are.
He's watching us. Get him prone.
Oh, it's a whole bunch of them. It's a whole bunch of them.
Ah, I thought there was only one of them. I was looking the wrong way.
Yeah, they're
everywhere.
behind.
Oh, I'll just give up then.
I'm stuck in a thing.
It's a Hesco.
Oh,
You
what?
can,
Made by the company Hesco.
Bravo is now in enemy hands.
A Hesco.
Yeah.
Sounds dumb. It's just, what is it? It's a giant box of dirt, right?
The enemy has the
Yeah,
lead.
it's basically just canvas with a wire around it that holds the dirt in place. It's just a portable, easily buildable structure.
Is this what the Minecraft block is based on?
No.
Because like a Minecraft block is like a meter by meter.
Neutral item is ready for drop.
Definitely.
Flanks from C.
Oh, lots of folks at C, yeah.
Yeah. They're shooting me. Oh, dang it.
They're going for the device. We need to get that device. It's a benefit.
Neutral item has led.
They're going for the MacGuffin.
Ow, damn it.
Neutral item.
Damn it, Miss Finnegan.
America,
The
yeah.
enemy has controlled the neutral item.
Hi.
Damn, son, I got blasted. Oh, you're using the NK-47. Nice.
Oh no, team just left me there.
Yes, it left you by dying.
Yeah, your way. That's a very long way away.
Oh, they picked me up and then I just died immediately. Cool.
We are acquiring Bravo.
Hi, I'm here to help.
Alright, let's see if this... Oh my god, can I Kobe? Oh, okay, I can't go.
Ow!
I got you.
Holy crap, why'd I run in there?
Ow again!
Oh.
Damn, son, where'd you find that?
Oh, it went really
They got all
well.
of us.
I did some dances. I wish I had more flexing emotes, like animations though. I don't have like, you know, the full body tracking kind of, you know, fansly
Chad, maybe
like
you should fix that for
VR
Grant.
tracking nonsense, so then that way I can do like all the cool poses. I just have like my face in my hands.
Right.
So I need to, so if I want to do like animations in Vignon, you need to like get like the animation into Unity and all that nonsense.
Or you use MMD.
Taking the neutral
Yeah,
item.
but like the thing is that like I tried an MMD for like a Yakuza dance, and for whatever reason, my legs don't
Secure
move.
the perimeter.
So like if
Damn
you
it!
set me like really far back or something like that, it's like,
Ah, a bit optimistic.
I thought it was
I
sustained
blew someone
fire.
up.
it would. I thought the recoil would stop after a little bit of sustained fire, like it is in Counter-Strike.
There you go, Zed.
Throw that. There we go. Ooh, come on.
My day. Diesel line.
Oh, that's not ours.
Morning.
I got shot while the guy was running. I don't even know how that works.
I'm like, why is there so many people? We started with like 6 people in this match. It is full now.
Nice. Oh my god, I'm so far down compared to this squad.
The enemy is taking the
Bro.
neutral item.
Alright,
The enemy has controlled the neutral item.
I mean, it's kind of hard to run when you're missing a leg, Grant.
My god.
my leg!
I guess the Yeens found their favorite food item.
Yeah.
My leg!
Z legs.
It's okay, Yeen. You're my snack for the day.
I'm a snack. Right, Grant? I'm a snack.
Oh, technically a whole meal, but you know.
You're an idiot sandwich. No, I'm a snack.
You're an idiot.
Nah, you're a meal.
Miss the time window. The enemy has been. Stay behind me.
Oh, you son of a tank, dude! Red Panda Overlord? Wow.
I'm reloading.
I gotta hide. This isn't a good spot.
Oh, unnamed. You know what the next game we need to play together is?
Nope.
The orc racing game.
Oh, yeah.
There is a Warhammer.
Speed Freaks, yeah.
There's a Warhammer 40K. Like, it looks like a mixture of like Rocket League and Mad Max.
The enemy is taking Brock.
Oh, what the hell?
Based off the game that's actually called Speed Freaks. Like, there's a tabletop version. Or there was. It was like maybe 6 years ago. They haven't printed it since.
Make you undead. Here we go. There we are.
Wow. What did J-Rose say? They're an idiot in fun size. Yes, unnamed.
Wait, no.
If you remove the tits, they are just idiot fun-sized.
Chris is calling me an idiot straight up now. Damn.
Wow.
Fun-sized without the tits.
And you'll wonder why I want to eat your leg. You don't deserve it.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness that you don't deserve my leg.
No, you don't deserve your leg. Give it to me.
Ow. I'll blast you.
Bullets hurting. Ow. Pain.
Did you see it?
Ow. How did I not see you?
Wasn't paying attention. Wasn't paying fucking attention.
Oh boy. Oh, you can like run up walls?
Yes.
Oh shit!
I got you.
Oh, god damn you.
Yeah.
Gunther.
This is a loss, maybe.
No, we're not that far, but I mean, yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it.
I feel it in my KD. Where am I at right now?
I feel it in my
492.
spine.
Gunfire all around me, and I.
It's okay, Grant. I'm joined you. We're together.
There we go.
I just need a yes or a no answer for the DMs in from Yeen later.
You see a yes, and probably a yes, likely a yes.
Oh, what the hell?
I'm hurt.
I haven't gotten a kill in 5 minutes.
Ah.
Hit F, you nerd! Hold F!
Just hold it. I'm going to you. I'm running to you.
I'll hold it. I'll hold it.
I'm gonna ignore you.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, use those sexy hands. Come on. Yeah. The hands of Yeen.
Wolves
I love it.
are up on this map as they have almost unlimited view of the field. Is that like an actual thing? Like they just have like a better field of
Here comes.
Oh my god, I have my ult. Pick me up. No!
Got bested by a kobold.
Neutral item has landed.
Oh no. Gotta hold it. Hi, Hendrix.
Damn.
I want to enjoy this game, I will be real with you, but it's kind of... Ow.
The enemy is taking the neutral item.
Hello.
I'm not cracked at shooters, so going into, like, you know...
engaged?
Sorry?
Sorry, my ult, I woo and then everything explodes around me.
Ah.
Oh, that is a lot of folks that I just marked.
Oh, you what, man? Dude, his name is Dream Hype. He be hyping all over me.
There we go. My ultimate is ready, which is useless the last time I tried using it on this field.
Securing target from B.
Bro, they just be out here sniping. They're not even trying.
Yeah, the Tiger's ultimate is just dog shit.
Yeah, except I just got ultimated in the back. Nah, it's a matter of hitting it at the right time.
Yeah, it's... I feel like for, like, just given, like, long-distance combats and such like that, it's not there for it. Like, the rabbit healer, absolutely understand it. The wolf guy, it does a fucking mortar. Like, let's be real. That's useful.
The bears is pretty good.
What's the bears? The Gatling gun thing?
Be careful.
Yeah.
Righto. Swapping back
Oh,
over...
Hendrix, Scream ++, Grow ++ is gone. It's now Yeen Phil.
Being Phil. Woo.
Yeen Phil. Woo.
I mean, I can fill you up later, I
You're
see.
taking the neutral item.
Blow up pancake with mine.
Damn it!
Fuck you, Gunther.
Clock's ticking.
There's a dude right behind us.
Together, soldiers.
Ow.
We've lost Bravo.
Oh, what is that? That's gonna kill me!
Zed!
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh, really?
Oh, the ass!
Oh my god, we gotta, like...
Shot me in the ass!
We have half their score. Oh, come on, what is this? Leave me alone.
We have Bravo.
Thank you for getting stuck on sand. Coarse and rough and getting everywhere.
This guy's shooting.
Someone is... Do not engage.
And ODs, I can do an ODs. ODs, my boobies, my massive fucking titties, my super stuffed up milkies, my hunger dogger boy donkeys, my fucking fabric stretching, wind flapping, gravity welling sex pounds. You mean these super duper ultra hyper goddamn motherfucking tits?
Yes, those.
Oh, really?
Dude, Tiger is so dumb.
Give me a
Oh, perfect spawn, Zed. There you go.
Compilation complete. The neutral item.
Compilation completed.
What is the neutral item?
It is the neutral item.
It is the MacGuffin.
Basically, if you get the full thing, you get points as to where they lose points.
Oh. Okay.
It's a massive game changer, basically.
It didn't look like
Oh,
they
look, we
lost
got
that
a
many.
bunch of... Oh, there's so many of them outside. Yeah, we have more points than them now.
Yeah.
All
So
animations
we just made a game changer.
are like
Keep in mind, they can make this a game changer too.
running on 4s right now. It's like looking at Miles Morales in Across the Spider-Verse. I'm going with Zed.
The enemy has
Oh,
Bravo.
that is an aggressive amount of dudes. Where are they? Dead, dead, you're dead, that's dead.
As a friendly, why do I even bother? Oh,
Thank you.
someone there?
The location.
I don't think there's anyone else.
Yeah, it looks like we cleared out
It's just people behind that block.
I got my ult. I can get so many kills if I do this right.
Problem, you come at me first.
Gotta play Doctor with my PC tomorrow. Oh my god. We're at.
Hendrix, why don't you play Doctor with me, huh?
I mean, I can. XD.
No, I want Hendrix.
They're an unlicensed
Wow.
doctor. You'll get no benefit.
Even perfect. It's just like one of my written stories.
Oh, someone's the cow.
Titled Malpractice.
What? There's a cow?
I'm taking
There's a cow.
fire.
You can unlock a cow.
Yeah, it's a bull. Ow. Fuck you, orc.
Give me a hand, comrade.
Actually, no, never mind, because I am in a perfect spot to, accidentally pull someone in and get sniped by him again.
Looks like they're taking A. Let me see how many of them there are. Maybe I can woo and blow them all up.
Oh,
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, okay.
Pull yourself together.
I was kind of scared.
Dude, that roar needs a distance turned down.
Oh my god, someone pick me up at my ult! I'm gonna shit!
there's fire in the way.
You're too far away from me. You're like 100 meters away.
Brad, you owe me! I picked you up when I could have left you.
Get up, get up, get up, get up. Man, you're...
Oh, we're still alive.
Here's
I'm running over to A.
Damn it, that never works for me. Yeah.
Charlie is now in enemy hands.
Nice.
Oh no, don't shoot me from behind, come on. No, you can't even hit me. I'm dodging you.
I just hate it when you get back shot.
Yeah.
We have the lead. Defend
Alright,
it.
sometimes it feels like guns have, like, no recoil, and then other days it's like, and you're just gonna get hit with...
Yeah.
Alpha secured.
Alright, cool. We can rotate over to C shortly. Hi there, Zeus Pegasus. You forgot the demo came out today after the trailer drop. Yeah, the demo technically was available yesterday as well, because it was like the 31st of July for Americans.
Yeah.
Yep. Engaged. Go.
There's smoke, I can't shoot crap.
Hey, Yin.
Yeah.
I have a loaded barrel for you.
13 for the 12-month tier 1 sub.
Thank
Loaded
you so
barrel,
much
what's it
for
filled
the
with?
12 months,
Oh,
Zeus.
you'll
I
find
really
out.
appreciate it. You don't have to deal with any of the advertisements that pop up once an hour, and you get to utilize all my cool
Is it
little
Yip Soup?
emotes.
Better.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was what someone was saying earlier, remember?
That's funny.
I'm sorry, the what suit?
Behind me.
Yip soup was a discussion that was brought in the chat. Soup.
Oh, soup.
Yes.
We are acquiring Charlie.
Lol, there was no one there.
Wow, we're actually
Ba-bam.
really getting them.
Wow, I'm actually at the bottom of the tier.
No, Grant, it's Australia, so you're really at the top.
Yeah, you gotta remember, everything's upside down.
I would love,
Yeah.
I would love to believe that.
You
Yeah,
could.
the scores go the other way around the toilet. There's a dude over there hanging out. He's coming over here. He's right there. Oh, they're all shooting me. They don't like me over here. And they got me.
Woo of Justice engaged.
This bunny girl keeps picking me up.
That means she likes you.
Alright, date time.
Someone put their Twitch in their username.
Soup-kun Twitch, yes.
I always laugh at those people in games because it's like, oh yes, I'm gonna stop playing this game specifically to go watch you.
No.
That's where
Not
we're
happening.
talking.
I know I use my name across like every system, but I'm not gonna add .ttv.
Worst medic ever.
And he's a sniper, so it's perfect.
It is.
And the T-pose.
What was the score during that? I wonder. Absolute garbage.
Oh, yeah, no, I was. Look at that.
Oh my god, you guys, you have like more kills than your deaths. What's that like? I don't know what that's like.
Look, I run and gun. As someone that's played a lot of Call of Duty, this stuff is normal.
I would...
Considering I'm usually garbage at any first-person shooter multiplayer stuff, I'm enjoying this.
To be fair, this is third person, not first person.
Well, I mean, you're just referencing the other games that are first person. I'm pretty bad.
Maybe because I played a lot of gun games, you heckin' nerd.
Yeah,
I'm just
like Fortnite.
doing
I
my
used to
best
play
to
Fortnite
survive.
way back into early days.
Oh my god, hello, Orc?
Fortnite, yes.
Orc Zovian, seen your name in the last
type
game.
Bork.
Yes, I
Bork.
saw... Don't type Bork. Don't listen. Don't listen to these idiots. Don't listen to them telling you to type in Bork.
Welcome to the Idiot Club, Zed.
Yay! All right, let's go.
All right. Bam.
Bork.
There we go.
Hi, Lycan. Remember
did you
unfollow
find-
Grant.
How did you find what's the Wild Assault? I'm trying my best under a 250 to 300 millisecond ping. It is going to be a trip, especially since every time I go into the game, it's like this watercolor painting.
I found out about this game from TikTok that said, you gotta check out Furry Battlefield. And I said, sure.
Bravo. We are leading.
They need
Well done,
horse.
soldiers.
Hello there.
There's a dude right here. He's at my body.
Lol, they
He's
didn't
at my
spell-
body. He's right here. He's right around the corner.
Oh, thank you, Lightning.
Danger still.
Cookie. Oh, cookie for
Alright,
Atomica. Here's your cookie. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're doing all right.
Be careful. It's an ambush.
Shot you.
I'm gonna
screamed,
steal
lol,
that
I
cookie
know.
idea from my stream, but it's instead of being a cookie, it's gonna be a zebra leg. Zebra leg for Lycan.
You know you have to make that, right? Like I made my cookie.
Yeah, I can make that.
Ah, stinky.
We've lost the lead.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
also
why-
talking
why
with my
are we not
sister
trying to
about
get
making
A?
I'm talking with my sister about making a zebra leg plush.
Okay, real fact. I have a lion friend. Oh, fuck you. Fox. And I can't even do that from the hip.
You heard about Gucci Mane?
Yeah, Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
So
I don't know them, but I know of them.
or Gucci Feline, and then. But yeah, anywhoosies. Did they? Oh, never mind.
Whoa.
I have seen a lot of his memes about the zebra leg.
He entered into popularity with the fucking like picture in the gym where someone like bit into the cushion, and he's like, I don't want to go to this gym anymore.
We
Oh,
have
a bunch
Alpha.
of folks right outside of where are we? Are we? Hey, yeah, there. Ow, bullets hurt.
Who's shooting? Stop shooting me! Stop shooting me!
Accept my bullets, please.
That man
Oh
tried
my
to
god,
punch me.
this guy won't just leave me alone.
Dude, who brings a shotgun to a firefight?
Is it like an accurate
I'm gonna
shotgun, or is
fork.
it one of those like, you know, like video game shotguns?
Let's just say it's a bitch boy gun.
I'm gonna try the bitch boy gun.
All right. Who
Hun,
has
you're
the-
not a bitch boy, you're a bitch cutie.
It's the same thing for me. I'm gonna try
Who's
it.
got the
I'll
shotgun?
take you to the breeding house later.
Oh, they're locked for me, so I can do supports. And...
Why did I spawn in a spot
Alpha
full of
is now an
enemies?
enemy.
All right, I'm gonna
I
try
don't know.
shotgun.
Bravo is now in enemy
Bitch Sheen.
God. I mean, they are pretty bitchy, but very cute at the same time.
I'm getting a bork. I'm gonna bork.
Do it.
Start.
You won't.
Kobe.
Hang in there. Friends of
There's a helicopter in this game? I'm sorry.
cover me. I'm real.
Oh, there's only 2 shots to this thing.
It is a shotgun.
It's an Olympia then.
We live in the modern age. What do you mean the shotgun can't have more than 2 rounds?
Have you ever played the Olympia
it's the
from
best
Call of
kind of
Duty
shotgun.
then?
It's a freaking break action. It's terrible. I'm switching it.
We are acquiring Alpha.
Oh, that's a lot of folks.
To be fair, if they gave you a lever action, it'd be too strong.
I'm kind of familiar with what these words
Okay.
mean. Is like the lever
Hang on.
action like the Winchester?
Ow, stinky,
Or
ah.
am I thinking of something else?
I can't res you. Too smelly.
I'll just hold. Breedable Yeen, yes, Hendrix.
Charlie is now in enemy hands.
Back.
Pablito.
Oh, these are all enemies here. Never mind, I'm giving up then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It do be like that.
It go down.
We have ways to deal with them.
Hopefully so.
Wow! Wow.
That hurt.
Yep, still water painting right now.
Looks like someone's taking B. Oh, shit, I didn't realize you guys were going this way. I'm running off like an idiot.
Alright, the shotgun is fucking
Delay.
insane.
Stop them.
I feel dirty, I'm using an auto sniper.
Be careful. It's
Get blown up.
securing target Bravo.
Alright, what is it? What is it like if as the wolf?
Reloading. Position compromised. I got
Bolt action all the way. No, because I'm bad.
Tango inside.
Dude, I don't know what kind of match this is.
I'm hit.
God, I suck at shooting all of a sudden.
Question. Are any of you going through the TV show Interview with a Vampire?
Not familiar with the TV show. Just, you know,
The movie.
yeah.
So, okay, so to recap, there is a TV show called Interview with a Vampire. There's 2 seasons so far that goes through like Louis' side of the story and what have you, very much like the books.
Zed, no worries, but I'm right behind you.
But
There you are. Hang on.
in season 3,
Oh,
we are going to. Oh, god damn it! So why did my thing shoot?
There you go.
oh, it's doing it again.
Stop dying, you cowards! Ah,
I'm keep dying. I keep
Oh,
dying, Zed.
Same here. We're
Can't
just gonna
stop
forever
it.
die.
They're too strong. Kim, they're
They're above
pushing.
you. They're above you. Yeah.
yep.
But yeah, so season 3 is going to be Lestat, and like we've already got like, you know, Lestat fans like making their like little like memes and what have you, and they insinuate that Lestat, like, you know, long list of X's and all that kind of such, is like similar in vein to like some other, like I think Taylor Swift had a thingy or something or other, and now there's like Taylor
Oh, thanks
Swift
for the
fans
follow.
that are hating on Lestat and Lestat fans.
Hi, Jack Embryon.
It's so dumb. You gotta love it.
Okay, trying new weapon. Let's see. Oh, no scope this time. That could be a problem.
Okay, I'll get killed.
We would definitely
Who's close to me? Grant's 30 meters.
I'm trying to get there.
Lance is dead.
Big dead.
And
Unnamed.
Don't die, don't
If you
die.
ever have a
Ow, ow,
chance,
ow, ow, ow.
you should just watch my stream just so you can see just like how.
On your left.
Alright, let's see. Yep,
oh no!
cool. Out of the danger
The
zone.
bunny came up and bit me.
Absolutely. They're way too coordinated.
Yeah.
Don't be ridiculous anywhere else. You stay here, Nat.
You need to have a look at my stream when you're like dead and all that kind of nonsense, because it's not
I gotta see this.
They're way too coordinated. What?
the.
Hyenas are cute when they laugh. I do laugh.
Hang on a sec. Let me just
The
spawn.
enemy
Let me see Grant's stream.
I need to spawn just so you can sort of see the quality of like animations and things as they.
Jesus. Yeah, focus on killing them before you save me.
Oh, okay.
Someone's hit.
Dude, what
Oh
the?
my god.
Bro,
Oh my
they're
God,
just
that quality.
overwhelming.
Yeah. This
Little
is,
murder ball here.
this is what it's
Jesus.
like when you're in like an indie game and someone's just sort of like, oh, hey, I'm just playing from the States. You want to join up?
I think it's a skill issue, Grant. I think this is a lie. I don't think latency is real.
You don't think this level of quality
What?
is affecting my skill?
Yeah, sure.
I think you're just playing on a potato. I'm gonna be honest.
Bullshit. I'm running on a 3090 and like a 70 something. Come on. Damn it.
I think my game crashed.
We are acquiring Bravo.
Like your entire Yeen, or
Oh, my game just crashed.
would you like?
Is my stream still alive?
Yeah.
It looks it. Yeah.
I can hear you on Discord. So yeah, like just sort of seeing watercolor like filter, and then everything running on like 4s or 8s in their animation is just like.
Oh no, is it
Hopefully
gonna do
I'm
the thing again?
What thing?
Where it just refuses to shut down the EXE, so it just doesn't want to start the game up again.
Oh.
Neutral
Wow.
item has
Task manager doesn't even.
Yeah,
want to deal
I
with
don't
that
know what's going
nonsense.
on.
Here comes
I thought it was like an antivirus or something, but no, it is.
We have
Just having
That's
a
turned
funky
off.
time.
It's just having the funkiest of time. Because it worked fine yesterday, and they did an update today, so...
Just to confirm, we're on the it's America versus Russia, right?
God damn it.
Like, because the eagle versus the bear.
is taking
Yeah,
Bravo.
I don't know.
It's kind of hilarious that the Americans like are running out from a hotel. It's just like, yes, as the foreign adversary in this part of the world, we're coming out from a hotel.
And the task manager, no!
How does that happen? Alright,
Unity Crash Handler,
Oh, fun.
and that one. Is that it? No, it's not it.
ambush.
Secure target.
It's not that.
Whoa, this man just... I don't even know.
Also, who stole my shirt? When did that happen? Damn.
Sorry. It was a while back. I took it. Viciously
That's okay.
sniffs.
That's okay, Yeen. I stole your panties and bra.
I don't have a bra.
Unnamed
That's a
has
good thing.
never worn a bra. In all the streams I watch, they just wear a fucking sports top, and then they just inflate the titties enough, so it's like, yeah, it supports it now.
I wonder how that shirt sustains size.
It's just got
Or
that
rent-
spandy material.
Thank you, Captain Toad. Also,
Why does the
am I
game-
winning? No. I am not winning Wild Saber.
I'm gonna restart.
Let's review the
restart
scoreboard.
Steam.
Amazingly enough, I'm not bottom tier, but that's because someone is with 0 kills and 0 assists.
Grant's not a bottom. Unheard of.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Stay
finally.
alive, Zed. Stay
I'm
alive.
trying.
Process.
Oh, it worked.
For the life of me, it doesn't even show the EXE in Task Manager. Wah!
Damn it.
Shit.
You need healing.
I don't think this will.
Yes.
Oh! Restarting Steam worked. Whoa, we're back in. Whoa, we're so in.
Ah,
We're working.
shaky.
While
Damn
I'm
it.
dead, enjoy these healing peck titties. Look at this.
No, Chad, look at my titties.
But the question is, unnamed, are you confident enough to lose the shirt? That is the quality of a
The
risky.
problem here is because I came from Ying's stream, I had to play favorites on Ying.
We've missed the time window.
And besides, that's more of a TOS issue here, unfortunately. You can get away with it.
Yeah!
We don't have
Yeah,
that
Grant, don't bully me to break TOS. I can't believe it.
You just keep bullying me to join Fansly.
I did. What's a Fansly? I don't know what that is. I think someone has to invite me to the squad when you guys are done.
Alright.
Don't worry, it won't be long. We're already at 200 points.
Yeah, the quest. Oh my
200
god.
to 1500.
That
Jesus
is a
Christ.
fucking stomp. Oof.
Charlie secured.
Stretch. I can stretch. Oh, stretch my back. Yeah.
I can barely see in the
Yeah,
distance
stretch,
where
stretch,
people
stretch.
are.
Oh my god. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Moving up here.
How did I lose to her?
I don't see shit.
Oh, there's a cow.
Oh, hi.
Give me the skunk, damn it!
We are losing. It's our last chance.
I got you.
Fight with all you have.
If I can't be a gain, at least I can be stinky.
Ready for a fight.
Just out here. Fuck you, Tantan. Don't worry, Grant. There's a battalion of horny furs who would pay money to carry your tits around for you.
Damn it.
Fun fact, for 600 bits, you will have to. I'm pretty sure it's 600 bits. Let me just double check. Because I have, like, ridiculous values, and...
For 1,000 bits, Grant will send you the video of the thigh highs.
No, I will not.
2,000, everything has a price.
All right.
Everything has a price,
For
Grant.
717 bits, or 600, or 770, or 7,075, or 8,008, boobs.
Boobs?
Boobs. Alright, where am I going? Lightning. As they...
Isn't this stream fun, chat? We're just here looking at the bear.
Oh my god! You gonna help, Zed?
As soon as I'm not getting shot at, sure.
I didn't know what you were getting shot at!
We just exploded. What do you think happened?
I thought it was because of the fucking bull that decided to hit us head on.
Ow.
Dink. Up. Zed!
I'm hurt.
Oh, god damn it. What the shit? That came from all the way over there? I thought it was like from the left.
Damn, dude, we got fucking stomped.
That was a drubbing.
Just keep stalling at me like
Shout out. I'm gonna shout out Zed now. Everyone, I get it! Another shout out? Wait, we already did a shout out? I'm not paying attention. Mods, are you alive? My mods are dead.
Mods died.
Oh, Obsidian's still here. Obsidian, I'm
Wow,
confused.
Zed did better than me.
no.
Absolutely
No, I
did
crashed.
trash.
Alright, there's a vacancy. Invite unnamed.
Yeah, give me a sec. I gotta finish crashing apparently, and also closing a window. So I will be right back.
Noted, noted, noted.
Brick.
Cookie for Wild Saber. Here's your cookie. Alright. We're gonna just go
Zebra
for...
leg for Wild Saber.
No zebra leg. Also, how do I unlock, Oh, you have to...
And get higher levels.
Right click. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Wait,
We
right
now
click?
have
Oh my god.
gold. I love how he gets a smoke grenade and fucking throws it at the camera for it to crack.
Time for a look. Have a good night. Bye, Dad.
Excessive force.
I'll probably play a few more before I take a break.
E.
Fair enough.
E.
Maybe one or two more, depending on how I feel.
Depending on if the urges take over.
What urges?
The breeding urges.
I have to wait till you get done streaming for that.
Oh.
Oh, my thingamajiggy isn't working. Why is my thingamajiggy not working?
Ooh.
Did you...
Try wiggling it around a little bit. Maybe that'll help.
Wiggler?
Hang on.
Wiggler.
Give me a second. Oh no! Because my server isn't boosted, I can't use the additional sounds I saved.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Hi, Fluffy Fox. Oh, there's an ad. Fuck. Hi, Fluffy Fox from the ad dimension.
Hello, Incineroar. Just eating a hot dog.
Love how Grant's popsicle doesn't look messed up. Grant, you need another popsicle for when you're talking that the eye gets lower and it gets more droopier.
I'll check in with the artist if that's something I want to do. Of like, I love what you've done for my Zeebs. Could you please make him more fucked up?
Yeah. I just wanted to be fucked.
Ayo, what?
Should I pass it earlier? Yeah, Hendrix, go to bed. You need to sleep.
Oh my god, I just realized. Yeah,
There we
Eggroll,
go.
whom's this bull? This bull is named Ryan, and it very much does have you vibes.
Out of curiosity,
Not now,
have
bro.
you watched the original Yu-Gi-Oh series?
Yes. Not all the way.
Like season
Okay,
0?
well, I'm gonna send you something. Like, no. Like, just the original Yu-Gi-Oh, like.
Yeah.
But, I'm gonna send you something. The context behind this is, just think of, you know, the one behind this person as me, and the one in front, you, and you'll understand why.
Hold on. Chat. ASMR burp.
Nice.
Sorry, chat.
No, you're not.
I'm not. I keep doing that every stream.
Oh, Lightning is the
Oh no.
captain now.
Oh no.
Oh, am I? How do I make people leader?
Just had to hit the quick play button and you can then we go do a thing.
Okay. Did you see what I sent you, Ying?
I did. It's about right.
It is.
Movement. You like my hair movement? I haven't tweaked it. I just tweaked the way my head like tilts.
That's okay. I'm
my
gonna
neck.
be pulling on the hair while I'm done with you.
What the hell? Not in front of chat.
Neutral item is ready for
Oh yeah.
drop.
No, in front of chat.
Oh
Gotta make it
heavens!
exciting
Oh
for them.
heavens forbid! Unnamed, just rizzing everyone and just being like, "No, you can't rizz me. What about chat?"
Yeah, you gotta risk chat.
Be advised.
All right, we're
No,
back.
chat's
In,
the last thing you gotta riz.
Acquire the objective.
we're back in our fucking what's the
Neutral item has landed.
what's the artist called?
Oh, but it's time for
Bob Ross
an
painting.
orgy. You know what I mean?
The enemy has controlled the neutral item. Take it.
I don't know what an orgy is.
Yeah, you do.
Hey,
I am a pious gene. I go to church on Sundays.
Count
That's a
Frollo,
lie.
there is a zebra with exposed leg.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Not mine.
Someone's hit.
Ah, come on.
Oh shit, there's a whole
Honest-
ton of them here.
Honestly, when my game crashed, I was real sad I wouldn't be able to play anymore. I'm actually really enjoying this game.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence. Like, I get it. It's a shooter game. Granted, I'm playing in like an entirely different like region, so the matchmaking is going to be
Let's roll out.
an experience.
Target Charlie.
But
It's okay, Grant. You can bully me when I join you on your servers.
nice.
Speaking of, I am rubber banding somehow.
I'm down. Help! Medic! Medic!
What's up? Not
I'm sorry, did my bull just say "What's up"?
What's up?
What's up? What's up? Oh, I'm still alive. Amazing.
Oh, this bullet just wrecked my ass.
I thought I was dead because like the chat made me dead.
I'm coming, Ying.
Shout out to the teammates running away.
Live to fight another day.
Oh my god, he just said, "What's up?" What's up? Is this all you got?
We've lost Alpha.
Let's get that item.
Get that neutral item.
Grenade.
Weapons free. We are taking the neutral item. Oh yeah. Neutral item is under control.
Oh, that wasn't gonna work very well. Oh, we're controlling it now.
Yep.
How'd you get behind me? You bitch! Blast it, boys!
Bye, Lycan. Thanks for coming, Lycan. Kisses.
Medic!
Lycan.
Oh, you're right there in the middle. What the hell? What are you getting? It burns us! It burns us!
Medic!
Okay, I like this gun.
What's up? Is this all you've
Oh my god.
The enemy is taking the neutral item. Compilation completed. The neutral item is...
No. Yeah, well.
If you have proven, you cannot be good.
I'm just hitting jacksicolic blocks in order to try and get my kills.
I have an ult! Get me up! Kill him! He's right
I
here!
marked the location. Enemy moving there. Stay behind me.
Oh, I tried him.
God damn it.
Dang. Oh, there's Grant.
We
Grant's
have
alive.
Alpha.
Yeah, I'm alive.
Changing mag. Stand by.
I'm heading over to B.
I'm gonna stay at C, because lots of
What do
dudes
you
coming in.
Send dudes! You mean send nudes? No, I send more dudes!
I'm in a fight!
gunfight! Yeah.
Where's the other?
Bro, what, mate? No.
Oh, stinky. Hang on, I got you.
Let's roll out.
Hold on, there's two waiting here.
Enemy is taking Charlie.
Really? Oh, that lag.
Yeah.
Oh, heavens forbid.
Enemy hands.
I'm not lagging. Everything's perfect for me.
Actually, what is your lag, Lightning and Zed, if you mind me asking?
About 115.
Oh, Catboy!
Okay, so
Please, Wiglor!
Don't let
I'm
them
on the
get away
west,
with
so
this.
like these servers are east side, so
ah,
I don't get the luxury to have good internet because apparently game companies don't know how to make west side servers.
no, it's not that they don't know how to make them. It's that Amazon has just sort of made it really fucking expensive, trying to have multiple regions. Oh, you can scale
I
up.
love AWS.
You can scale up so fucking easily, but apparently going to a global like multi-country conglomerate and ask, hey, can you just set up like multiple low stake points? And they're like, I don't know, man. That's a bit costly on our side to run them up. And it's like,
Good job, team.
Well, it's like you make all these good games. You're a billion-dollar company, and you can't I don't know, take the time to make a west side server. Like, come on, bro.
This guy's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me.
no one wants to give the liberals servers. Also, fuck you. Thinking you could kill. Oh, someone is.
Hi, Catboy. The game's. I like the game. It's kind of jank, but I like it so far. Mochi Kush furry stuff.
It is very jank for me, but I am a survivor.
Named behind you if you can.
Hang on. Yeah, trying to not get shot at.
Somebody get me up.
It's okay.
All right, I think we're clear. Going in.
I'm
Alright,
gonna
you go-
die. You hurt me.
Oh no.
Neutral item is ready.
Hey, no, don't, damn it.
don't. Oh,
Like, I was literally coming to save you.
holy shit. Hi, Solo. Hi, Raiders.
Oh shit!
I'm a
Hello.
bushy boy. I'm a bushy boy, hyena boy,
Somebody get
and I
me
play
up.
video games. I'm pretty bad at them. That's my story.
They're doing better than me right now. They're doing better than most of us.
Neutral item.
Curvis, thank you for the follow. I am so close to 500. I'm 4 away. 4 away.
Oh my gosh.
Where's the Yeen Bro?
Neutral item. Take.
Oh.
Enemy moving there. Stay
Brago
behind me.
Wolf Raid?
Really? God dang it! Fucking ow.
Is there? Oh yeah, because like Solo is like just absolutely chock filled with spaghetti.
Spaghetti? You had spaghetti? You didn't invite me? We could have both been spaghetti
We are
preg.
acquiring Charlie.
Who shot me? What the fuck?
This baby here can hold so much fucking spaghetti.
Mama Solo. His baby killed so much spaghetti.
Ah!
Yeah, Grant, I would have shot them first. Oh, yeah, we're back.
We're so back, baby.
We're back.
Praise Wiglor.
All hail Wiglor.
Yay. 8th frame.
Charlie is now in enemy hands.
Who the hell? Is he over there?
I'm on the location.
I'm hearing gunfire from over here.
Oh, we're
Okay, can't go
moving.
that far.
We're moving like a fucking
Fucking
train.
meleeed, you loser.
Praise Wiglor.
I do recommend, if you do have the early access angle, to give it a try. I do, however, recommend, if you are to play this, try and pick your server so that you're closer to where you actually are. Otherwise,
Hey, remember that bunny squad that was kicking our butt? I'm running right behind them.
oh, the worst medic ever.
Hey, yeah, I know them. They were in our last match.
I'm following.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, they're on our team this time.
Yep.
Or where they were before. I don't know. That means we're gonna win! They're sweat lords!
I marked the location.
Can I, like, tag that guy? No, I can't even ping him. He's moving too fast.
Tick, 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 tick.
Where's that coming from?
We have
TikTok.
Bravo. It's almost done. Good job.
Is it me, or is the flag on Ryan's backpack meant to be something else, and then they got, like, you know, someone on the internet telling the region, hey, don't put that flag on, and they just sort of half-ass covered it.
What, the Taiwanese flag?
That's not what I'm seeing on him. Swap to Ryan, and you'll understand. It's a red background.
I don't have him!
Okay, it's a red. Revive me, someone, and just take a look at my backpack.
I got an ult. I can't do it, Grant.
Let me help you, friend.
Thank you. All right, take a look at this backpack.
Ooh, I know exactly what that one is actually mimicking, like, historically. No. There is an actual one that matches that exact color.
Oh. Confederate?
Oh, yeah, it is, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is one that's for a specific unit that was based out of Corpus Christi, Texas.
I had to get a Texan that knew about the histories, didn't I?
Oh. Yeah, come on! I do historian stuff sometimes. I learn.
I learn. Unbeknownst for most of those Texans, this one learns.
This one book learn. I can move. Hi, Ryan Dragon. I'm new for you.
Reloading.
Yeah. But so my instincts were correct. The flag felt like a moment.
But it could be based on an earlier. Like, it's not exact. There's missing features of it.
Obviously, but the fact is like they're missing features because they designed Ryan, who is a bull, a cop, and had that particular flag. Like,
what?
Enemy is taking Bravo.
It's not a leap of the imagination that whoever designed this just thought, oh yeah, like,
I gotta save the
deep-seated
friend.
racism is based in a design.
He ain't gonna make
Oh my
Cocky.
God. Can you guys stop moving so I can...
They're gonna kill you!
Thought I was safe.
I killed Kiwi.
I thought that bunny was gonna pick us up.
I thought so too.
That was asking for too much.
So many of us dead there that just took it as a sign. It's like,
Bravo
Crap.
secured.
There is no server browser angle. It is literally just you get thrown into a game, and there's like 40 people online right now, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it's 20 versus 20.
No. What I mean is,
There we
so when we get out of the game, there's like a little thing in the bottom right that like shows like, like count. I think there's only like 40-ish people playing right now. Out of like
Just
no way.
No, there is a setting where you show your ping during the games.
Yeah, mine's on.
yeah, 256
Yep, mine's on by
milliseconds. Yep.
Securing target Alpha.
Hey, skunk, do it stink.
By the way, as a Fox character, someone else's smoke can actually, on your team can actually hide you as well.
Nice. Does it do anything
So
for
when you're
none?
on like the point, you could technically just infinite stack it because on kill it resets your cooldowns with the Fox character.
What happens
so
if
you
you're
left
not
the
a
already?
fox in the little circle thing?
You don't get the reset, and you don't get the invis.
Oh,
I lost
so
the
it's just
tracking. Oh no.
so it's just a purple thing.
Yeah. So if a Fox gets the kill when they use their ability, they get their ability refreshed, and other Foxes on your team can hide in your smoke. It's kind of broken. My friend and I kind of just sat there and
I got two.
kind of
Next
just
time.
abused it a bit.
Thank you. Bye. I got sushi. I got dinner. Oh shit.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, I have rice in a rice cooker I need to get to
How
at
do
some
I
point.
switch? Ah, I'm gonna hydrate. Oh, hi, Curvis.
Come on.
How do I switch like my over-the-shoulder thing?
Alt.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Left ult. I had to go after this. I gotta think about dinner for Fam and I.
Okay.
Enough seas.
The
I need to figure out where my passport is.
union should message me later when they want to do things.
I need it. I'm going to the States
you
in
doing?
December. I need it to get out of the country.
Hi, Laura Elcard. I'm doing all right. I'm pretty fun. I'm playing video games with friends. It's pretty fun.
Friends. Furry friends.
And Grant.
Hey.
Friends and Grant.
I'm probably the only one here that's not pure furry.
What are you talking
Not
about?
yet.
Tails
Also,
and
I'm not
Eagles is the only part.
I'm not pure. I have art that says I'm not pure.
No, I said full. I mean, in terms of I don't have full body fur or anything like that.
Yet.
Oh, but like on the scale of furry, you are on the furry scale. Like that's.
I'm
the-
on level 1 furry. Well, level 2 actually.
Level 1 is like Naruto. I hope you like that is the that's
I have the tail and ears. That's practically as close as you get.
yeah, but the thing
That's
is
all
that
you need.
But the thing is that the ears are like, you know, those are your primary ears as well. And like this is an arguably like 2, maybe 3.
I'll
team lead
settle
or
with 2.
something? Oh, yeah, here.
I'll settle with 2. 3 would mean I have fur on the legs and more animal-like legs.
No, because like. All right, hang on. We're
There
gonna
is,
need.
there is a level 1 to 5 picture for it. I could grab it if you want me to.
There's.
Oh, I know what
okay.
picture you're talking about. That little staircase thing.
Dangerously
It's with the
cheesy.
5 stages of them.
Yeah, there's a
Dangerously
lot of
cheesy.
debate because someone did like a 4-stage one and it was like, okay, but your style at stage
You're
4
safe.
like chibi-fied your character, so it's a bit of a, you know, stupid one.
Yeah.
So, but there is another one where it goes a bit too far, but it does because like unfortunately it does like an indistinguishable stage 2, stage 3 thing, and it's like down to the lore of the character rather than the actual like
Oh, that's
appearance.
stinky.
Yeah, like, I'll be real with you, like, I will settle with 2, but, like, I'm also actually going...
How's behind us?
Yeah, I just had a bit of a spike in lag. But, oh my god, what the hell?
Yeah, you can barely process this game.
I mean, it's not like I wouldn't try using furry models, because I'm having a friend saying that they'll make me one. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna, like, say no.
Hey, free
But
model.
I'm not gonna like ever out anyone and said that. Like, I know that the community overall has a mixed set of people.
Yeah, just like any community.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like good eggs, bad eggs. You know, you tend to get them everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I had like
No.
one person in my Yakuza 3 stream. They like they were in the furry fandom and they mentioned they were like a baby fur, and that's where it's like that's where it gets too close to the line.
I watched that part of the stream and I was like, oh no, I don't like this conversation where it could go.
Oof.
It's like having the conversation where anyone stands in terms of furry is a dangerous conversation because it can either make or break a community.
I think mine is small enough, like it's still too small to like, you know, have its make or break moment, quite frankly. Oh. So yeah, but I will have the conversation about, because I think it, like, I'm not a fan of discourse that are like, we cannot talk about politics, we cannot talk about these subjects, and we do not, like, you know, meet the, like, thing of, like, you know, we'll just, you know, absolutely 100%, like, deny, like, you know, this area of the fandom.
It's like a whole situation with, like, politics and religion. Like, don't force people into their, like, spot stuff. Like, it just, like, you know, it's like there's a boundary for everyone, you know?
There is a boundary, but the thing is that it, like, if you're... I feel like it's a bigger issue with the furry fandom than it is, like, in the non-furry fandoms, but the thing is that when, like, someone within a furry fandom makes their Discord and it's like, can't talk about politics, can't talk about religion, sexual identity, and stuff like that, it's like, okay, so you're removing, like, a shit ton of, like, subject matters that are, you know, you are going to have these kind of conversations in real life, and you can only go so far with the, you know, oh, you and I are furries kind of thing. Like, that gets dry very quick.
I specifically keep the politics of religion practically out, because in most situations, communities can tend to fight amongst each other. And it's more of like, I'd rather make a community where it's just safe for everyone, rather than just make people, you know, at each other's throats.
Fair.
That being said, if it's someone starts spewing like hate stuff, like, no, you're out.
Yeah.
Like,
no, like
don't
last
be like
night.
that.
Last night I was when I was streaming. Basically, like, someone just bopped in out of nowhere and was suddenly just decided to do like a debate me type of just block of text saying like why is it okay for you to like furries but I'm not allowed to like lollies? I'm like,
oh god. That is a completely separate subject in itself. Like, that's two different things.
It's
like, my friend, I am currently having a chill stream fighting a T-Rex with a sword for a tail.
This is terrible.
Not the time for that conversation.
What's more is it was a straw man fallacy as well. So
yeah, like,
they were not interested in, like, but and you as, like, you know, since they came to you of like, hey, you're gonna have this conversation with me.
Yeah,
like, you are able to do the respectful move of like, no, we're not.
Opting out, yeah.
So,
like, and even then, why are you wanting to converse with someone who's going to be operating in bad faith?
Yeah.
Like here's my
thing. Get him out of there.
Exactly. That's what I did. I was like, nope, blocked, out of here.
Yeah, and especially in a politics situation, you're welcome to have your opinions, your thoughts, and no one should ever have to like look at you in a poor way. I mean, like, you can have a bad take, and that'll be on their end. Everyone has their own bad takes. They have their own thoughts of what's better, what's not. At the end of the day, you should just let it be.
So yeah,
this conversation took a wild turn. Anyways, I'm so sorry, Kerbis. This is a deep conversation.
It's an important conversation, though, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Hey, because the thing is that, like, the whole crux of, like, you know, the thing from what I started and what you've explained, Lightning, is that it is very much a case of like
thanks for the sub, Brain Dragon Wolf.
Damn it, Brain. Stick together. You can do this.
I think, and I also think right now we're kind of also preaching to the choir. We all agree on that. Us four.
We all agree because
we don't have to agree with each other's views. We just have to view each other in our own respect.
Yeah, we have accepted, like, you know, the social contract when it comes to, like, you know, communication on, you know, sensitive topics and such. So
yes, I mean, and we don't have to like what they do or say. It's just,
who's the buff doggo? That is a coyote lizard thing. That's said.
That's me. Hi, hello.
Hi.
Yo. I
like being in the camp, like, especially because of, like, you know, historically, like, people just sort of having this, oh, it's, you know, there's certain things you can talk about in conversation or that you can't talk about, but you'll pick that up as you go into conversation. And it's like, you know, that sounds really cool and all, but if you are, you know, inept at picking up on the small social cues and everyone's excuse is, oh, you just pick it up with experience and such, then there isn't a benefit to going into spaces that explicitly prohibit, you know, being able to do all that.
It comes down to, is like, even if you gave your reasons on either side and you still just choose to not, you know, agree with how they feel or what they think, I mean, at the end of the day, we could just drop the subject, move on, talk about a different thing.
Yeah, exactly. So
no one ever has to feel agreeant on everyone's views,
and I think it's
whether
important,
you know, their views for reasons or not.
I think it's important that we demonstrate those things. So if you want, we can move on from this, and that is a valid strat. Do we want to do that?
Yeah, because I'm kind of just enjoying Yin just eating Zed up.
What?
Yeah, stop trying to eat me.
Stop trying to eat people.
I'm just letting Grant talk, and I'm just like, it's making bork noise.
I'll
bork
stop
mouth
being an
movements
ice
over here.
cream. I'll be himbo. All right. All right. You don't get to enjoy this. You don't get to enjoy.
Oh yeah, that'll be even better.
No,
I like
it
ice cream. I
won't
also
because
like
it means I get to fight back. Look at this nonsense. Look at this.
Yeah, but I like that. You get to
go over
Grant,
to
pin me down now.
unnamed. You know, if I
Damn.
had the extra thingy-majiggies, I would most certainly be playing Discord or noises to make you
Put a
uncomfortable.
Put a PNG of Grant on your tongue. You know what? I actually do have one ready to go. Let me go to my props.
Hey, Yin, where's the grow?
Where is the
Oh, I
girl?
gotta lower it. Someone's gotta shrink me. This is the biggest it can go. Unless someone gives it.
Serious? You don't have just, you know, let's remove limits?
Let's see. Linked bone, not camera.
Hold on, I got this. We're gonna make it bigger. Okay? It's okay. We're gonna
World
make it bigger.
hips. Where's the head?
We're making it bigger.
Where are you going?
Yeah,
We're making it bigger.
let me do the thing just so that way they don't get pelted by... I don't know why you haven't tried to fix that.
There's nothing to fix. It's perfect, Grant.
It's not perfect. You're getting pedaled by nuts, and you're gonna get pedaled by at least 500 of them. So if you
Think
have
I don't
someone
like
that
it.
doesn't have the bit to, like, you know, fix it, or everyone else goes on lurk and goons while you grow.
You're talking like this is a bad thing.
I'm talking in the sense of, like, Unname's health.
Look, I got Grant on my tongue.
Hang on, I need to, like, make... I can barely see... Why do you make me so small?
Because you are small.
Oh, you're one of those hyper furs, aren't you? You're one of those that are like, ah, yes, civil engineering can fuck off. I'm at least 10 foot. There are no doors that will fit me.
All right, let's go to the next game, Grant. You're the captain.
Okay, fine, we'll go into the next game. Good play.
Awesome.
I got my
Yes,
gaming hat on.
Yes, I love that hat.
It's such a stupid hat. Hang on a second. Let me get my thingy-majiggy costume up.
I had a PNG version of it for when I was playing Dredge that one time.
Fuck.
Did you see it?
Why can I not you were fucking lurgy?
Props. Let's have a look.
All right. Thank you for having me, Yin, and nice to meet you.
That was
Zed
fun.
and
Thank you.
Grant.
Thank you for the first collab. And then inviting everyone else too, and it was fun. It was fun. I
There we
enjoyed
go.
it.
Yeah.
Check
this is-
check
yeah,
it
this
out,
is fun.
Unnamed. I'm locked in. I'm ready.
Just remember though, Yin,
You're
I
locked
have
in?
War
I gotta
Thunder,
see.
So if you're ever on
Alright,
War
team.
Thunder, just
Acquire the
hit me up.
targets and secure our victory.
There we go.
I gotta go to Grant stream now.
Anyways, take care, y'all.
Oh, that was a good shot.
Bye bye. Everyone's
Bye.
lands.
Blows and
Nice.
Like a
Oh,
headset.
lovely hat.
Man down.
Lovely hat, Grant.
Granted, I wasn't responsible for this hat. Cookie for Wild Saber. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Nope.
Zebra leg for Wild Saber. I'm just gonna do that every time we collab, Grant.
Every time you collab, anytime I say cookie for Wild Saber, you're just gonna be like, zebra leg.
Yeah, anytime it's for anybody. Like Cookie? No, zebra leg on my
Leg.
side.
Noted.
We've lost the lead. Pick it
Alright.
up, team.
Oh shit,
Can
I
I,
didn't realize a
can I
friendly was here to
recommend a
save me.
collab stream?
Damn it.
Yeah?
Have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG
Shut the fuck
Final
up.
Fantasy XIV?
Oh my god.
Complete with a free trial allowing you to play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward and award-winning Stormblood expansion up to level 70 with no restrictions on playtime? Join me, Unnamed.
Are you for real? You couldn't hold? You couldn't hold? Neither of you can hold?
I
didn't even realize you were there. You didn't say anything.
What do you mean I say that? Use your eyes! Look
Hi,
around
Star
you!
Wubby! I love how Star
I'm a
Wubby's like,
big
please
bear."
tell me more. The critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV comes with a free trial. Sniper, there we
Just
go.
a scratch, no problem.
One big
Oh, this
fucking
bear
door
is
coming
based.
in. Ooh, 55% window. Nice work.
Shout out to my non-furry. So speaking of a character going oorah, shout out to my non-furry friend while we're playing Rising Storm, the Vietnam game, Grant.
Yep.
And instead of saying oorah because we're playing on like the Russian side, or not the Russian, the Viet Cong side.
Yep.
Instead of saying oorah, he goes ooh woo.
God.
really loudly in all chat, and the server got quiet.
No one.
You got the Wild Assault beta? Well, I mean, why aren't you in here, Catboy?
Alpha is now in
We have a
enemy
fourth.
Yes, please join us.
Oh.
Join us.
hands. Charlie
Noted.
secured.
We will need to get out of this match at some point.
Because I make you? Well, fuck you then.
Yes.
Ah.
Oh my god. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh hey, the ping is only 180 milliseconds.
Oh God, mine's 228.
Ah!
I think we moved over to your side, Grant.
I'm 224. No wonder I am rocking. I got that. I'm not doing too bad, Grant. I think your skill issue.
It is a
Yeah,
skill
I think
issue,
so.
but I'll be real.
Yeah, look, you're at the bottom still. Ooh.
I've been running around like an idiot, okay?
Rar.
It's just skill
Rare.
issues like get exasperated by this shit. But yeah, any whoosies. Where are we?
Oh man, these Australian players suck.
This is not Australia.
BC players suck.
Somebody get me up.
Grant is bottom.
You glad that Ryan the Bull can equip more than an AA-12? The anti-air?
These have to be bots. Never mind, these have to be bots.
Maybe.
Lavender, thank you for the coffee. Welcome to the stream. You lovely being. Mwah.
Oh, the drum thingamadoogie. Noted.
Grant, stay alive! I'm running you.
Somebody get me up.
Look, all you left.
Ow, 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 ow.
Let me help you, friend.
We gotta keep that leg fresh. There you go. Oh.
Fresh.
Alpha secured.
Cookie for Hendrix.
Well done, soldiers.
Hope everyone's doing good. We're doing good, Lavender. Welcome. Oh shit. We're playing that furry battlefield game.
Grow a pair. Weapons free. Charlie is now in enemy hands.
Oh, he's right there.
We're coming. Oh shit.
Pull the snoot. Don't pull the snoot. Hi, Atomica.
Damn it.
Guys, if you're lurking in the stream and you're not following me, make sure you follow me. I am 4 away from 500 followers.
Shoutouts to Unnamed.
And it will make me happy.
Need a Bork in my chat at least once, so then that way it's an easy, like...
You're right, I gotta do that. Let me go Bork. Make your life easier.
Thank you for making my life easier.
The enemy has the lead.
Bork. Hi, Grant's chat. I'm gonna Bork. Everyone Bork with me. I fucked that up.
Thankfully, because it's the first message in your chat, I have made it that if you do say something in my chat first, it is just you borking.
Why?
I love how everyone gives different spellings of bork. I'm going to need to add these as like alternatives or something. Yeah. Here's the thing, Unnamed. I would be at bottom of the charts. Here I'm mid.
And here I'm at top, so I'm just saying, Grant, like,
I'm fine. Look, I'm fine with all of you Americans who don't win Olympic gun games to beat me in shooting games, okay?
We don't win. I'm getting killed here. We don't win at gun games because we own all the guns and we don't need to be on top when we're on top. Yeehaw! Fucking matches. I'm wearing this hat.
That's what I imagine it is. I imagine it is quite simply that. Like, once the Olympics are over, we're going to forget about, like, oh, what are the best, like, shooters in the world? And everyone's just gonna look at America, Chris Kyle, or something like that.
I mean, we're gonna look at that Turkish guy who decided to just get second place. Oh Jesus, that's an explosive.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on that fucker Chris Kyle.
Yeah, and
I have some opinions about that book.
I understand.
Yeah.
But it's like the only it's like the only American shooter that isn't like a school shooter that people outside of America know.
You know, this is not what I expected coming from GrantZeebs. What did you expect? Honestly, I want to hear that. Hi, Star Wubby.
Someone is seriously injured.
So, but yeah, no, I will be real. I think the reason why Americans don't go into like the shooting games in the Olympics and what have you is because they're the gas-propelled guns. I feel like it's just a case of Americans will try it for the first time and they're like, oh, this is a...
No, that's not true.
Weird.
When I was in high school, we had an air gun shooting team.
Oh, okay. How'd that go?
But that was because they didn't let us have 22s like they did in the 60s.
Damn it.
Actually, I never joined that team because I was too busy with like tennis and football. And track. Football, yeah, I quit football after I got hurt. Then I switched to tennis, and I'm like, tennis is better. This is baller.
My name? Nope.
Right behind me.
So it's a Pelican, not 22. That's right, it's a Pelican.
Yeah.
Essentially, the fundamentals are the same because it's all about that trigger pull.
Yes. Also, I can't believe everyone just ran past me and let me die. Wow.
That's okay. It's what happens. Alright, T. Yay, I'm now in the top 10. I am working my way back.
Robotics,
up
even though I had a body for football. Yeah, built like a fridge.
Built like a fridge.
Changing.
Uh-oh.
Come on, go on. Weapons free. Reloading.
How long does it take to like recover health?
Tiny bit. I feel like I'm dying more than anybody. I am.
No, I'd probably die a lot more.
No, we're about the same.
Man down, man down.
No! 644, whatever. I'll help you.
Let's roll out.
Damn it, let me up. I want uppies. There we go.
Uppies. Medic, please give me uppies. And stick your finger in the bullet wound too. I'll be honest, I still fucks with this game.
The enemy has hit the halfway
Despite my
mark.
220
Hold it
milliseconds.
Look, that's what I had to. That's what I have to deal like 250, 260 to play with you. So the fact that you're able to enjoy this at 220, yay.
Well, that's because you have to go to the East Coast. So I'm in Texas, so I'm meeting you a little bit closer.
Just a little bit closer.
Just a little bit.
Somebody.
Explosives all around.
Alright. I wish you could tell me like where the. Alright. Ding.
We're losing? I'm gonna go to C. We're just killing.
Blimey.
Oh yeah, because like the other
going for
side
kills
has like
and not-
way more consistent.
Damn it.
Oh, this is a burst? I did not know ARs do burst. Can I change that?
Yeah.
They can, yeah.
Yeah, the M16 that I got issued had a 3-round burst. And it jammed a lot because they didn't give me any CLP. So I called my rifle Bob Marley.
Securing target Charlie.
What's-
It'd always be jamming.
What is CLP?
It's just lube.
Why don't you just call it loot then?
Friends are taking fire.
Because we called it CLP!
Try me.
Everyone else calls it
Lube
that.
is for your ass, CLP's for the gun.
Believe me, you don't want to mix those two up.
Different holes,
it
different
gets
rolls,
weird.
I'm guessing. Is that it?
Yeah.
Neutral items ready for
Who's
drop.
this on the ground? I can't believe it. I thought your ping was good.
Stay behind me.
Ow. Silicone base, yeah. Hey, you gonna hide?
Weapons free.
What the shit?
I don't know.
I'm about to die.
Yeah, smell
From
like
what?
Stinky.
Neutral item has
I think stinky.
Okay, where are they? Damn it! Okay. Well, someone killed him. Grant, get me up.
Bork. No, get him up!
Get up, brother. Live to fight another day.
I may do it.
Live to fight another day.
Reloading. Cover me.
I want to get up here. I want to get up here. Give me up. He's up here. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't like that I'm on this rock. It is rubber banding. Ooh. Oh, come on. There he goes. Okay. It didn't like me on that rock. ETA, Catboy? Everyone's demanding the Catboy. Catboy, wig lore.
For the sake of Wiglor, you must join.
Oh,
whoa!
I'm still laughing about that
yours.
stream. I was so loopy.
That was fun.
Shot Willie, goddammit!
Damn it! Okay, wait. Are yellows friendly?
Yellows are friendly, I believe.
Ow! Oh, smelling, stinky, bad, ew, gross. Ah!
Oh, come on.
Shot in the back.
Stay low.
Just dealing with a lot of wolves.
Oh, everyone's dead. I'm even gonna try.
Yeah.
Nigerian with no idea how to play. Basically, you know, it forces you to a small tutorial.
It does, and then I Alt F4'd out of that, thinking I would get it again when I...
Oh no, it's the titty. I guess you guys gotta, like, do something about it.
Alright, hang on a
Oh
second.
no!
Let me do something about that. Where's the...
It's Yeenville.
Yeenville? Alright, Yeenville. Where is it?
There's no delay on it, so I have to actually fix that. 2 Yeenvilles right away. Oh my god.
Nice! I'm not mad. I got titty.
Not even mad. It made it double the size. I think there's one more level, and then people could shrink it for like 50 points. So if you want to troll,
yeah,
troll the big lovers.
The enemy is taking the neutral item.
It's him, Wiglor. Oh, I gotta fix your audio. You're a little low. There we go.
Hello,
There you go. Say Wiglor.
The enemy has controlled the neutral
Wiglor. Shall I say GD? Okay, once I get this guy up. Can't find these buttons. They're in there.
We are losing the round.
Before I joined, I tried to post, everyone follow me, I only have 200 followers, #shill, and then it told me, no, I can't send that message.
Thank you for the hyper himbo, Zeus. I appreciate it as I die yet again.
Hyper himbo me.
Also, it says unbalanced or something. Oh, because we don't have any points, that's why.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm at the top of the scoreboard, second to the top, so I don't even care.
Yep, no, fair enough. You got in after, whatever that name is.
Don't care, score bounces when I walk.
That's right.
Bullseye!
That boy ain't got no neck. Oh, I thought it'd be us.
I don't know why it would be us.
We won.
We did not
We were the
win.
best team, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey, you don't think we're the best? Oof, oof.
Never thought we were.
I'm coming to win the video game.
6 kills and a rescue, and that's it.
I can get a new character. I need her. Where can I have it? Where do I pay? Oh, right click. I like him.
Oh,
For real this time.
Asia Pacific. Oh, and hang on, someone's at my door.
It's me, Grant. I'm here for the leg. You know, let me see if I can invite Catboy.
I'm a Catboy.
You're not on my friends list.
Oh, bye, Lycan. That's not true.
I don't see you.
Oh, I might be offline.
My passport has arrived, but they
right
need to
click.
see my ID to prove, so I can prove it's me.
Okay.
So BRB.
Just show a leg. Hey chat, you know I can mess with you, and I can still just, you know, make myself smaller. Oh no, what happened? What happened, chat?
Oh no!
Oh god.
What-
oh, the
what
game is so
happened?
loud. Oh no.
Yeah, it's
We
gonna be
gotta
loud.
fix that.
Yeah, it's
Chat.
computer game.
Oh!
Chat, don't let him do this.
I pressed the button twice and someone did that, so yeah, no, I went big. And go one more. Yeah, I
Oh,
fixed
do I
it
have
for
to
you
do
guys.
this tutorial?
It's quick.
Okay.
It's like maybe 5 minutes tops. All right, so while we're waiting for that, I'm gonna eat some sushi.
Ooh, what kind of sushi?
You know, the HEB kind. Oh, thanks for the
fair.
pets. Actually, it's not. We don't have too many HEBs here, and they honestly suck compared to the
Oh,
ones
I'm
like
sorry.
down south.
Their HEB is pretty good.
Como se dice HEB?
HEB?
Oh,
HEB?
yeah. I
Damn, my
mean,
dad called it that.
how dare
What?
you? How dare you steal my hat?
I see your hat. I've had this for a while.
Well, so I didn't realize you had that, or I probably forgot. I have that hat in real life. I love that hat.
I know you have the hat in real life.
Yeah, we must have talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I sound so blown out on through your stream. Do you have it turned up to like 1 billion?
I do. No, you don't. You're about 110. It might just be Discord. I don't know.
That's possible. I just know I don't sound that bad. Look, it's Discord. You love it. Oh, these are pistols faster than reloading.
I'm dry reloading. I'm dry reloading. I'm dry reloading.
Oh, he
Shout
said
out
the
to-
thing.
Shout out to Battlefield 2, OG gamer.
Oh,
Oh
dude.
god, that takes me back.
You can spam I'm dry reloading. So we were playing Project
Yep.
Reality like 10 years ago. We're swimming across the river and all we were spamming was while we were crossing the river is I'm dry reloading. I'm dry reloading.
I have returned. I now have an Australian passport. And my face looks
Hooray.
so fucking fat.
Oh, squeezable. Oh,
How did, like,
it's
I shouldn't have gone to a post office for the for a passport photo, should I? I should have tried going someplace special. So, anywho's, we good for? Wait, hang on. I need to invite Catboy, don't I?
I'm stuck in the training. Give me like a minute.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
all right. Give him a minute. All right, time to play an ad. Bye, guys.
Oh no.
Bye, chat. See you in a minute.
Oh my
Enjoy
goodness.
the ad.
Sorry.
Please watch the ad. I love you.
I just got here after a 3-minute ad.
No.
So I ran and risked locking myself in.
Grant chat, come to my stream. Watch my ad. Just kidding. I don't get shit from it.
Ooh, I'm LT Gray.
You should come over to you should come over to my stream and get sub, and then join the simp chat where we bully Grant endlessly in there.
I don't get bullied.
No, don't do it.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, my mods are gonna get an ad. We're gonna get a message tonight going bully Grant in the simp chat. It's a feature.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right, guys, I made it through training. Invite me.
Love you, Grant.
All right, hang on.
Oh, she flashes her ass at you. What the fuck? Clip it, chat. Clip that.
They have Why?
They know what market they're going for.
Yeah, okay. Anywho's, I don't think I have the local Catboy in my friend list, but
I don't
if
think
you
so.
He's offline. I don't see him either.
Just invite me.
I'm trying to see if I see you.
search for
These are all
friends,
away offline.
and that gives you like
Search
a
for friends. Oh yeah. How do you get the ID?
that can be found via
I don't even remember what your it's Murgle, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not even like alphabetical. Oh.
Am I just sitting there somewhere? My Steam hates me. I always have to sign out and sign in like every time.
I got a friend named Fart. What the fuck?
Oh, if you click on your
I
little...
have my ID if you want that.
Yeah, because it's going to be really short. Because if you click on your thingamajiggy in the top, in the bottom right, and then the UID is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits. All right, here we go. Search for friend.
Alright, ready?
Work. Oh, I can add. You can add shit to your archives.
All right. Go.
You can type stuff. You can type a gender, a birthday, code name, Bork. Code name Bork.
Bye vendor.
Bye vendor. Kisses. Thank you.
Sorry.
I'm 113538.
113538.
Yep.
I'm borking.
Friend request.
Thank you. Alright, I accepted.
Awesome. Alright, so if we go out, back in. There you are. It says you're online.
Thank you.
You have now
Enter the team!
Now,
Praise Wiglore!
Now,
Wiglore.
The matchmaking server is currently set to Asia Pacific, which is 146 milliseconds for me.
It's okay, Catboy. I'll stop bragging. You'll be fine.
Sure. Okay.
Every American is better than me at these shooting games.
Well, yeah, we're made out of guns.
It's just not fair. I guess you got to come to Texas, Grant. I take you to a range.
I will hold you to that when I have the spare funds and money to do it.
You'll hold me to it? Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh man, Grant's gonna hold you.
How do I pick a different operator? Okay, here we go.
Holding you in the chest gummies.
The chest gummies.
That was a phrase I heard in a Jackbox party game I hosted several months ago. And I'm going to be hosting another one at the end of this month.
I know. I won't be there. I will be at San Japan.
Oh, you're going to San Japan?
What is San Japan?
Oh, nice.
Neutral item.
I've been there in years.
If you go that, you will easily figure out which one's mine.
Alright, I got 2 kills.
You're out for the working.
Or not even me. It's my sister's booth. Fair.
I'm bleeding out. I'm bleeding out. I'm there. Help me.
Where are you? Oh, you are all the way over there.
Where are you?
I don't know, I just spawned here and then shot a guy and died.
Why'd you spawn there? You shouldn't have done that.
We are taking the neutral item. We are taking the neutral item. Changing max, stand by.
Look, I don't know. I'm trying to take the neutral item, okay?
Neutral item.
Yeah, if we get the neutral item, we get gooch shit.
I have
know where
the
it is.
neutral item. It's at.
Oh, it's on our side.
Oh.
Try me.
Well, that's gonna
Defend resources.
That's gonna be an easy defense.
Hi, Midnight. Yes, I am still streaming.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
midnight.
I actually don't even have to go into work for like 2 hours late tomorrow. So.
Oh, sweet. So your vacation has been minimally extended.
Minimally, yeah.
I mean, hey, thank you again.
Everyone at work
Yeah,
was like,
right?
"Oh man, are you glad to be back?" And I'm like, "Hell no."
Like, absolutely not.
I should talk to my workers notoriously. So I'm like, "Y'all think I missed you?"
Check my lungs.
And they laughed, and I'm like, "Don't laugh."
One down.
Changing
Oh, I'm
max.
trying to cover you, Grant. That guy's weak.
Got him.
Reloading.
There's a guy on the left there. Yep, got him.
Changing.
Nothing.
Where I can
Big
barely
man, you're right,
see
Midnight.
who's trying to shoot me from over the horizon.
I guess I'll just stay here at the neutral point at all.
Guy right there, a name's on you.
What? No, they're not.
Nope.
Oh,
You're with Grant.
it's on our side.
I'm with Grant.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Big moon, big moon.
Beep, boop.
Da, 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 da,
Someone
da,
crossing
da.
the street. He's down.
Nice.
These guys gave me an L90A1 and I can zoom in quick. It's a wrap, folks. I'm sorry.
I understand
sorry, it's
only
a
half
wrap.
those words.
I understood all of them. I speak Gunnanese.
Yeah, this is a wrap.
We've taken the lead. Good job, team.
Woo. Lol, unnamed and Zed at the bottom of the list.
Bravo.
It's because we're just standing here.
Yeah, we're
Leave us
the
alone.
only two people hugging the neutral item. You're welcome.
Hey, well, we just captured an objective. You're welcome.
I don't
by the
care.
way.
I don't care.
Neutral item is more important. Oh, getting shot at.
Where? No one's shooting us.
I
killed the medic.
I don't know from where.
So
I'm not getting hit. This ain't even real. The bullets ain't even real. I'll stand right here.
I have to focus on like the weirdest fucking like ink blots to get a kill from a distance.
Hendrix mad someone shrunk the titty.
Reloaded.
oh, guys, I'm gonna be playing this on stream. This is a game.
It's
Yes,
fun,
it is a
right?
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, thanks. You guys can finally see that I'm actually good at FPS games.
Then why aren't you at the top?
Compilation.
I just joined.
Neutral item is up.
Oh, sure. A likely story. You've been playing all day yesterday. I saw you.
Why am I higher
sure,
than
sure.
you as well?
Did that even do anything? Yes, it did.
You have 2 more kills so far, I think.
Yes.
I'm trying to get
And I'm also
the.
trying to do a capture as well.
Okay. Okay. Tactical sprinting drains my stamina.
See fucking shit.
Nope.
Hey,
I'm coming up
Why
on
don't
your
you-
6, Grant.
hey, Midnight, why don't you shrink it again? Do a yin shrink again. Make Hendrix mad.
Yeah.
Changing max.
I think I'm calling it an airstrike or something. Yep. That's cool.
I'm running A.
He's on you.
Oh,
Behind you.
Ah, god
Got
damn
him.
it.
Somebody.
Fuck.
It's right on top of me.
Oh, I was surrounded.
Nah, it's okay. Frost is gonna...
Hey, you
Gotta go away.
I'm just gonna bleed out.
There we go.
Yep. That's a good push, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, do another yin shrink.
Oh, you're not gonna crack top 1, because the top 1 is
Will is incoming.
20 kills out of 11.
Got you.
Alrighty. Dink, get to Heavy Zed.
Oh, yes.
Oh, nice. Double kill. Look at me go.
Another one down. I got you unnamed.
Let's roll out.
They're on the
one
right side behind those barriers. Be careful.
Left side behind barriers. Also right side
okay.
behind barriers.
Yep.
Yes, it does. Well, it gets pretty close. Pick me up, catboy. Don't you understand?
You're just gonna get me killed.
Well, this bunny picked me up or didn't pick me up.
Okay, that was
Hang on.
weird.
I'm trying to cover fire for the bunny.
Yeah, and somehow, like, my thing turned into full auto because of, like, click mashing.
Reload it.
There we go.
Maybe ours. Just do not get hit by the...
Lead us. Changing
Got it.
max. Stand by. Not my lucky day.
I see you there. Can't really do anything about it, but I see you. Wait, I can do this.
The enemy has Bravo.
I got that tiger off you unnamed.
What about... Yep, cool.
I steal my kills.
It's easy. Does a lot of
Working as a
damage.
team, that's what we're doing.
I regret getting that neutral point. I have no kills. I'm so at the bottom, and it's hard to keep up.
Oh, no. Hey, you got 5 now.
Securing
It's like you're in the
target
top 10, unnamed. You're good.
Yeah, I'm in the top 10, but I'm like, I could be up there. I could be up
Guys,
there.
I'm
where I
number
belong.
2. I'm number 2.
Like you're
I know,
contributing
shrinks
to
the
the.
tibia. I ain't touching that button anymore. You're not touching the button anymore? I'll touch the button.
Guys, I'm doing it.
Nice.
Do not pull that trigger.
Who the fuck is doing, like, just random shots? Whoop.
Shots?
I don't know, just...
Neutral item is ready for